Hello, 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 everyone. It is great to see you on this lovely Saturday. Almost Sunday. Lovely Saturday. Sorry I kept pushing the stream back. Plans kept getting a little bit longer than I was expecting, but we are here, and all that matters. So, what we're gonna be doing? We're gonna be doing everything that We're gonna be doing what we do every Saturday. Well, didn't do it last Saturday because something came up, but every Saturday I try to do replay reviews for you guys. That's what Heroes Huddle is all about. You guys ask questions, I ask questions, try to get your brains turning, and we learn a lot about the game, and we learn a lot about what to do. If you guys want free replay review, make sure you check my Discord. Head to the free replay review tab, and you can get your replays posted there. And then on Saturdays, we go over them. Members do have priority, so keep that in mind. And yeah, also special special shout out to Lauren. Her team is going to be in a tournament today. So if Lauren comes in the chat, wish her luck. We're actually going to review one of those games, one of their scrims, just so to give them some good advice, some heads up on getting their win on. Take a look. So we're gonna be trying to get through. I don't know how many replays we'll get through today, but minimum it's always 3 if it goes long, and if it's like max, maybe it's like 6 or 7. So it depends. I'm gonna try to get through them a little quicker because we have a few, we have quite a bit stacked up. So I want to get through it a little bit quicker. So that's what we're going to be. But of course, we're not going to rush replays. If you guys have questions, I'm all here for it. Alright. Let's just hop right into it. Let's just hop right into it. I was already late because I'm trolling. So let's go ahead and hop into it. Let's go ahead and just start everything right off the bat. So let me open up the Discord window so we can read what the poster said. Not coming up though. Locking it. I guess we could let it play HUD. Is better. There you go. Chilling. Alright, so here's what they remember. I'm gonna be in my Discord for replay reviews. You guys. Alright, so here's what they posted. They said, this is another scrim. We lost, but I was super pleased with how far we got because we were playing against a full team of Celestials while my team is peaking Diamond GM. This is the first time I played a serious match against players of this caliber, and oh wait, there's no end. I'm trolling. I could use some tips on how to play, on how to better play at the speed and efficiency as a tank. Maybe there's some things that I don't think of yet since I'm not up to their level. This team was super nice and helpful, by the way. 10-10 would scrim them again. Oh, so you're saying that you were, your team is lower average rank, and then the enemy team is like goats. Okay, we got you. So that is actually something that's very valid. If you guys ever climbed, you guys would notice. Oh, it sounds choppy. Like how choppy? Let me see. Hold up. Let me try to fix it. All right. Are we here? Is it better? Does it sound better to your pleasing ears? I don't know what causes that. I think it's when I mess with my um I think it's when I mess with my game capture. I'm gonna get a new capture card here pretty soon. Mine's kind of like old. So we will get that. Also, I think I need to update OBS because I don't ever update that thing. Okay, anyway, like I was saying, were you guys able to hear what I said, even though it was kind of weird? Were you guys able to still catch everything that I said? Because if not, we will reread it. But if you did, we're chilling. But while you guys answer that, their comment was pretty. It's pretty on point. The more you climb, like the better players you play with, the faster the game gets. I say this quite a bit. Some people don't really understand it until they get there. There's different spots within ranks where it will speed up and things will go faster and fights will go faster and there's more cohesion, so things happen at a different pace. So given that it's a stacked team, I know what it's like being the team that's going against someone who's really good versus like being the team being really good versus someone who's not. You can definitely tell. As you guys know, I used to play pro for Gears of War. So I've been against teams that were really insane, and then I've also been against teams that are like just getting their foot wet and still trying to get their head in the game. You could definitely tell a difference between the two because you'll run over one. We're gonna see if there's any way that we can kind of keep up with the enemy team, and then we'll just go from there. What's up, Chaos? Ping you when you review yours? We'll have to see. I think we did. I think we did yours last week. I didn't do it last week, did I? No, I didn't. We'll see. We'll see, because I know I did a lot of yours, and there's a couple of people that I've never done before, so I got to make sure that we kind of get them all even, you know? But we'll see. If I pop it open this week, then we will. I'll ping you. I have to remember it. Ping. I'm on ping duty. All right, you're doing a pretty good job holding your own. Now, I obviously assume you guys are on comms, so I'm gonna assume that's why you didn't back up. But you know, looking at the state of everything behind you, it looks like maybe backing up was the play. I'm gonna just assume everything is based off of like team communication. I'm not gonna assume anything different. So should you have stayed there, I'm gonna assume it's because your team said it was okay. And I think that's fine. You're holding your ground. What I will say, given the context of what you're trying to do, Magneto is not scary, and you'll just walk past Magneto. So it doesn't really matter if you're playing with a squad or if you're playing by yourself. You can't really do this. We talked about this before. Some tanks are very good at holding space with their body. Some tanks are really good at holding space with their abilities. Some tanks are good at doing both. Magneto is very ability focused. And if he doesn't get that space, you're going to get run over, but also they'll just ignore you. I mean, you're not very scary. So in a situation like this, the best you could have done was back up. Even if your team says, I got you, you really got to make sure that it's kind of rough, because unless you trust the person, you know, and this is just in broad context of people that are playing with your teams, if you guys have them, you still got to know, like, if it's okay for you, right? Not everybody can have eyes on your screen, and not everybody knows what you're getting yourself into at that moment. So even if a team is like, you know, don't worry, I got you, you still have to understand, like, my character does this, I don't feel safe here, I'm going to have to move around and move out the way. And that's what we should have done. We should have just kind of backed up, especially because Emma was getting low. Just back up here, give him some space, reclaim that area later. And yeah, because there's not really much you're holding off on here. Honestly, they didn't even have to fight you. What they should have done was just run straight past you. Like, the Psylocke using cooldowns on you just didn't make any sense. If she was real, she would have just walked past, KO'd that invisible woman, and then looked to go up there. So, this is what I mean by some teams are very... I mean, I don't know obviously this isn't like pro, right? I like what I train to do in my matches are like way different than what you would see with, because everybody's just having a good time with their friends or with their family or whatever. And you guys are just playing some tournaments, That's way different than like playing for real, And that sounded like would have just decimated your team right there, because you gave her the opening too. Not only because you didn't really hold the space, but it was because you didn't back up. So all I gotta do is get past you, and you're not in the fight anymore. Emma was really low too, so all I have to do is get past her. She's not in the fight anymore. We take her out, and then we just delete the entire team. These are like the things you want to think about when you play. Like, even though, especially because sometimes you're not gonna scrim against the team that you're playing in a tournament, right? Like if they pair you against teams that you never heard of before, you don't really know what to do. And so you have to think about it on a scale of like what can happen, and then play to it accordingly. This is how you match the speed and tempo of harder games, whether again it's team play or if it's like solo queue, duo queue, whatever. When you start climbing, you have to start anticipating what better players would do, and then you react and change based off of that. There's a lot of the times that I tell you guys when I'm streaming and I see something, I'm like, I don't know why they did that. They didn't even have to do that. And then I get the KO, right? But it's because I anticipated them doing the right play, the optimal play. And I could be wrong, but in my head, it was optimal, and they did it. And I capitalized on it. So when you are going against a full entire squad, you have to do that tenfold. You have to really think like, okay, what is something that they're going to do? Like as a brief example here, if we go back just a little bit, right? Odds are he's going to wall you up, right? Very, very simple. This dude's about to wall you up. You gotta, and I know it's harder on comms because it is. It's very hard if people are talking to you. I get it. But you've played with them a while now, so you probably get the feel of it more, and you already played other games like that where you communicate, so you probably have a good feel for it at this point. But you already know what's probably going to happen from here. Whether or not he does it, you need to think like that, right? So if it's like, okay, he's probably going to wall me. How can I play this interaction by myself? Because right now it's a 1v1 tank battle, if you want to think about it like that. It's a 1v1 tank battle, and how do I handle this with Groot? Well, if I get walled up, I'm screwed. So we need to figure out, well, what can we do? Well, if I go this way to the side, right? It's weird because you are going to be in shot danger. But the thing is, if you pay attention, nobody's really looking at you. It's just this guy. So even if you come over here and he walls up, you're not in danger because she can still see you. And then after he walls, and you see him do it, he'll say it, and then he'll like do it. When you see him do that, you know he used a charge. This is what we call cooldown management. You notice that he used a charge. So then you can sidestep back into cover, and you're chilling. If he uses the brown wall, even better, right? And you're able to go. So these are kind of the things that you want to think about. Now, this guy could be goated and just like V-wall you, right? He'll put a wall there and then put another wall there. But the thing is, again, you're not really trapped. You just walk forward, walk around, you're back in cover. He just wasted 2 cooldowns to try to get you. Whereas right here, no matter how you play this, he's probably going to get you. I mean, he might not because he could be, not amazing. But it's just something to think about. Like, imagine he walled up perfectly right there, right? And Emma couldn't go, you couldn't go, and then you're trapped. Well, all that could have just been handled by standing here first and then moving out the way. I mean, you guys still get run over, which was expected because of the spot. But just those things you got to think about, And you can always predict this as the fight unfolds. So we're going to take a look at this next team fight, and I'm going to teach you guys how to predict the fight before it actually unfolds. This is a skill that you really want to learn how to use, especially when you're playing in high ranks, even more so if you're playing in teams. So we'll watch it, and as it goes, I'll explain kind of like what should be happening in the next few seconds. So if we look at this fight, we know for a fact that we're going to try to stay on her camera, to be fair, because we can't really say anything else. All right, boom. So on her camera, she sees these people straight ahead, right? We don't really know who's over here, but we also know, if we look at the top, there are two. If you look at the top, there are two people on the point, right? So we have 2 people on the point. We have 2 people sitting right in front of our player here, which means that we actually have the advantage should we want to fight. And I thought we saw Angela up here too. So they're really fragmented. We would look to take a fight as soon as possible. So At this moment, if we were to picture how this fight unfolds, we either have a 1v5 or is it 6? It's pretty much 6. A 1v6 on that Angela or a 2v6 on the Groot and the Ultron. That's what we're thinking about right now. Now we have to think about, and you're going to do this, you're going to learn how to do this, and it's going to be very quick though. I'm just breaking it down. Now you have to think about which fight is easier to take. Is it the Ultron and the Groot, or is it the Angela? 9 times out of 10, especially with the team that you have, it's going to be the Groot and the Ultron. So now what we're looking to do is take out that Ultron. If we could take out that Ultron, we get a pick, we roll on that Groot, and we move forward. That would be the play. We're looking to get this guy right now because we know that 2 are on the cart. We know that Angela was up there, and we know that there's only 2 here. Let's see what happens. And you see, the fact that we didn't push this was because we didn't pay attention to context clues. And we also didn't read the fight. This is why reading the fight is very important. This is why you see me take a lot of crazy fights, and it looks like I'm trolling, but it ends up working. That's because I see the advantage. Even when I was playing Rogue yesterday, like I went giga deep, right? And it was to the point where it's like, how did you even survive? Or how did you even like win this fight? But it's taking into account the number advantage. It's taking into account where everybody is on the map. And it's taking into account what I can bring to the table. We know that Magneto takes, is it 2 shots, a mag cannon, and a primary? I don't think they adjusted that. So I think that's still what it is. So if we can manage to land that on him, he's done. But we got scared. We didn't push it. But there was no way you were in danger here. We saw where everybody was, right? This allowed them to regroup. This allowed them to get back on point. And do you guys have a shot caller, Lauren? Is it you? Are you the shot caller for your team? And in a solo match, you would just ping, right? You don't really have much, you can do, unless you're on comms. Not really much you can do about that one. I would still force that play though. But if I were on comms with a team that I'm stacked with, I would expect that shot caller to call that because that's pretty free. Luckily enough, we still got the Groot. And that's what we would expect it to happen, right? We would have taken out the Ultron, we would have taken out the Groot, then we would have pushed forward, reclaim our space. This game we kind of did it. There was a lot of everyone talking. Okay. Yeah, this post was a while ago. Well, not a long time ago, but you know. Okay, so we know that we're winning the fight. And we talked about this before, right? There is the 4 stages, generally speaking, of a fight. There's more to it sometimes, but I'm not going to overcomplicate it because it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But there are... Trying to get my little pen tool up for you guys. So you guys can see the writing on the wall, like Michael Jackson. I think that's how it goes. Writing on the wall. Okay, so as I said before, we have setup, right? We have pre-fight, right? We have full fight. And then we have cleanup. So in this example of the fight that we just, and this doesn't always happen this way. As we said before with the Groot and the Ultron scenario, you know, sometimes people put themselves in situations where you could just skip some processes. But for the most part, this is what you are thinking about when you play. And right now we're in the cleanup phase, right? We're in the cleanup phase. We're trying to make sure that we get everybody before they regroup. Fortunately, it didn't happen. So now we're in the pre-fight phase, or the setup phase. Now we're in the pre-fight. Now we are in the full fight. And all that unfolded in like the span of 2 seconds. You see what I mean? And so this is what I mean when I said the paces change as you climb higher. The paces change as you play against more experienced players. It doesn't really work like this when you're in lower ranks. If you play in like bronze or silver, even gold, you'll notice that sometimes it's skipped. Sometimes these people stay in the setup phase for like 5 minutes. I see some weird stuff in those ranks, but this is a Celestial team. So Their speed is like boom, boom, boom. It went to clean up, to regroup, to set up, to pre-fight, to full fight in the span of literally 2 to 3 seconds. This is why you have to think ahead. This is why you have to think about how the fight's unfolding so that you don't get caught with your pants down in the situation. Because now you're putting your team in the well, they have to react to the whole situation instead of plan for it. And it's inevitable, obviously. I'm not saying, well, you should play perfect and nothing like this will ever happen, because that's not true. But it helps you be able to understand what you should and shouldn't be doing and not get run over like this because of us not transitioning. So if you want to talk more about speed, you're talking about the transition between the phases, okay? Because that was one of the things you asked about, which is the speed. So let's go ahead and look at that again. We'll pay attention to the phases again. And we'll see how quickly we can transition before they start doing anything. So they capture a point. We're trying to get our bearings. So we should just look to set up on the next fight. I don't really know what's happening here. The thing with team play is you have to be very cautious because of you guys trust each other a lot more, and there's a lot less room for the blame game. There's a lot less room for the questioning things. When someone says something, usually everybody's a little bit more inclined to be like, all right, let's go for it. And you have to be very cautious of that because situations like these make no sense. You're putting yourself in a situation that you should never be in 10 times out of 10. And so if we're practicing as a team or something like that, right? And you're like, well, I'm trying to learn how to get better, and we're trying to improve our tactics. How do you improve on something that you weren't supposed to be doing in the first place? So what you want to do, and we spoke about this yesterday when we were coaching Nash, you need to get out of this and reset for the next fight on the next location. If we thought about that, this is a free pick right here. Because he should never be here. I don't even know what this guy's doing. If we thought about, let's just regroup on the next point, this guy's done. And then you have a 6v5, and you guys can roll that and then reclaim your stuff. Right? But I don't know why we're so focused on this. Because there's not a fight to be won there. You see how you get pushed back anyway? We should be fighting here. We should go to the next fight location after you guys lose the other one. I know in the moment, sometimes it does feel like it's a lot harder to do all of this, but it's very important you take a step back and just really think about it. Like, none of this ever happens if we just reset, you know? Like none of this happens if we reset there. What I noticed about your gameplay in like the past like 3 minutes is like you're trying to make the best of a horrible situation. Like you can tell in their gameplay, it's like the walls come crumbling down and you're like, well, I'm gonna try. And every time you get KO'd, it's because it's like a last ditch effort to save something. Just don't put yourself in that situation. That's actually hilarious. Alright, so we set up for the next location, right? If you have to push him and fight him, you're trying to push and fight to stand in the next location. You can fight him. This map is really weird, so I can't really fault you for not really knowing exactly where to stand. But just try to pick places with the most cover. So like something right here is fine because you can see that straight down the long alleyway. Go to alley. It's not really an alley, but you know what I mean. You can see down here, right? You can also see if they come across from here, from the left. You have a lot more eyes on everything. The goal of a tank, especially if you're, well, the goal really, not even just as a tank, but as a player in general, is to be able to see everything. And the goal of you as a tank is to put yourself in a position where you can see the most, especially if you're playing as a team, because you can call out everything, right? If I'm holding here, I might not be able to do anything about if they come through here, but I can call it out. Maps are designed to allow them to be able to breach the defense. They shouldn't only have one way in. They have multiple ways. And so every time that you tank or every time that you're putting yourself in a position to see anything, you want to make sure that you have the most vision. and it would be somewhere right here. You can see everything. If you hold right here, you can't really see much, right? So you're not really only looking for cover when you're trying to find a spot to hold up, but you're also looking for sightlines. Yeah, you see, kind of like if you were to hold here, you can't see anything over there, you're blindsided. So you do have to either push up or retreat a little bit, but you got to do it fast before they start regrouping. Perfect. Oh, you could have held the wall a little bit more, but I think your healers just weren't paying attention to you. That or they were being attacked and we just moved forward anyway. I just think your team is just discombobulated right now. This is one of those, like, we should just reset to the next round type of rounds, to be honest with you. Is that what happened? It looks like everybody's just confused and don't know what to do anymore.
Don't give them another inch.
So we're just gonna skip to the next round. You can tell. You can tell. It's not that they suck or anything like that. Like, sometimes we just get overwhelmed and sometimes you just really don't know what to do. Oh, you guys came back though. Huge Luna ult. Huge Luna ult. All right, we can breathe. We can breathe. We can breathe. We can reset. We can breathe. Okay, perfect. So, remember what we said. We always want to make sure that when we win a team fight, we want to reclaim this space. We have to think about where their spawn is. I believe their spawn is like back there. It's like right there. It is. Okay. So we need to figure out, well, where can we stand to reclaim this space? You could stand here where you are right now. It's not necessarily a bad thing. But the spawn door is kind of weird. And the cart is already behind you, basically. It's kind of a weird scenario now. Before it was because they had to push the cart, right? It's a bit easier to sit here in this location, but it's gone now. So they can approach you from really any direction. So now we're looking to fortify in a spot that's better from where they're coming from spawn. I know that's so weird, guys. It even sounds weird coming out of my mouth, but it's a really obscure topic. When you play like that, this is where we're gonna have to hold these other angles because this is where they're coming from, right? They're not coming from this when the cart is pushing because they're pushing the cart. They're coming from here now because the cart's behind you. I hope that made a little bit more sense about what I was saying. So we shouldn't hold there. We should hold somewhere over here, maybe up here. We want to prevent them from coming from spawn to the cart. Because they will just go behind you and yeah, do that. I didn't even know that was going to happen, but I already... You can read the scenario based off the position. And that's really what I'm trying to like hone in on. Is like a lot of the things that you can anticipate just comes from where that player is, what the team is doing, what are we doing. You factor all that up really quickly. You can decide what you should and shouldn't be doing, and you can easily decide how the fight's going to unfold. So again, we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to try to see if we can figure out how the fight's going to unfold and see if we can pivot away from the bad outcome. This little poke phase, like the pre-fight phase and the setup phase, this is the time you're using to think. You're thinking about, what can I do? How can I push? Where do I need to stand? This is all that. You don't do that mid-fight. You do that pre-fight and you do that during your setup. So you should be thinking, well, there's a hell up there. Maybe if I stand here, but maybe that won't work. Just kind of run it through your brain. You guys are running 3 tanks? Oh yeah, you were telling me about this. Y'all crazy. Y'all do some crazy comps. I mean, it could work though. Thor is definitely a DPS in sheep's clothing. Okay, don't like that because you can't do anything about it. I like what you did here. This was good. Stay here. Stay here. You could fight that Emma from where you are. And there's 4 players behind you. Just keep your spot and stay there. Uh-oh. I think I'm dropping frames, boys and girls, and baby squirrels. I'll wait for a second. Okay, is it better if you guys had any buffering? Today is just not a solid day, is it? Today is just one of those days where everything just does not go to plan. Okay, I think it's fine now though. Back to what I was saying, definitely stay here. There's no reason to continue to move backwards because you did a good job. Thor's there, you're here, you can fight, and if you need to fight this guy, just fight from range. This isn't going to do anything. Magneto can't protect with his body. We know this. It's abilities. So you should just be fighting her from afar. You just then gave up that space that you took, and now we're forced to play around here, leaving our Thor to basically 1v17 over there. And then we get pushed back, and all this stuff happens. Why? Because we didn't really think about what we were doing before we did it. We just did it, and then felt the need to turn around. The easiest way to get over kind of what's happening in this match is to just play a little bit slower and think about what's going to happen before it happens. Then ask yourself, do I really need to be over there? Do I really need to participate? Again, I know there's comms going on and stuff like that, so it's a little bit difficult. But that's something that you guys should work on, so that way nobody feels like they need to retreat instantly to help people, and you guys can be like, oh, no, it's fine, stay there, you know, stuff like that. That sucks. That sucks. That could have been played so much better. Right after you were here, this is when it just started to fall. As soon as you left, I was like, no. There was 3 players right there in front of you that you could have even taken out yourself. Do you not trust your team sometimes? I mean, I know this isn't now. This is like before. But in this scenario, did you just not trust they'll be okay? Or is someone like, we need you, and you're like, all right, here I come. Like those type of situations? Oh, that sucks that she wasted her ult. That sucks. Oh, I'd have left the team. I left the team right there, bros. I left the team.
I'm opening a portal.
Down to 30 seconds.
Sometimes the tanks don't really know what's going on in the back line, so sometimes I don't know if I should back up or not. Okay, fair. Yeah, it comes with reading the situation. When you read the situation, you know if you're needed or not. It's pretty similar to what we talked about with Nash yesterday. Come to think of it. You see, this is why I always put it in a broad perspective. Because just because it's team play doesn't mean they don't overlap with solo play and vice versa. You know, some of these things still align. But yeah, in that case, there's Emma and there's 4 players on your team. You didn't see Black Panther. He was behind the wall, so there's no way to really give you that information. But based off 1 Emma and 4 players, you know, if she could KO your entire team, well, we need to find some new substitutes. Right? Your team should definitely be able to handle a 4v1 against Emma. So in a situation like that, based off those clues, those context clues, you know for a fact you're safe, and you can continue to play the game from where you were. I'm not going to speak too much on you getting grabbed, but I do want to speak on you're taking a lot of damage and you're making your healers work overtime for you. What you're doing doesn't really do anything to the enemy team, right? Well, let's just look at it from their perspective. Let's see who you were trading. It looks like you're trading with Emma, so we'll look at it from her perspective. What you're doing isn't really doing much, right? Like, that cart's moving regardless of if you're doing what you're doing. So you could just let the cart move and chill out. If you weren't here, she'd get obliterated. But the same thing goes, they're still backing up regardless because this is a really bad spot to hold considering that you guys are just pushing through for free. So they're going to back up. What you're doing is making it so that your healers have to work overtime, and if someone else were to take massive damage, now we're in trouble. Or if you get grabbed, you're half HP. So what I'd recommend is just chill out, you know, in situations like this. The trick, the cheat, look, here's a cheat. Here's a cheat code for everybody that tanks. The cheat code for pushing through defenses as a tank, if you're playing convoy convergence, is to sit behind the cart. What's going to happen is there's two things. Someone's going to stop the cart, and in which case it's go time, or they're going to just let the cart keep going. You don't have to like force just because the cart's moving. If they're letting the cart just slowly walk, let it slowly walk. You're chilling, you know what I mean? In the sense of what we're seeing here is like we're trying to do extra for no reason. If the cart's moving, let it move. If it stops, then you got to fight. You know what I mean? The goal of the game is to push the convoy to the checkpoint. If they're gonna be AFK away from the game, you're not gonna go look for them and try to KO them. You're just gonna say, okay, I'm gonna sit on cart and let it push. What's the difference? They're AFK, just not. Yeah, they're AFK, just not in their base. Right? They're just sitting here. Let it push. It's super free. And then now, you see how she engages? Well, then this is when we decide to start fighting. Right? But we don't fight on their terms, we fight on yours. Just one more side thing. When you're anticipating how the game's gonna go, you know there's an Angela. If you just sit here, you don't ever get grabbed. So again, play slower. Actually think through a lot of what's happening. I know it's a little bit difficult because you're playing in a squad and you guys are on comms and all that extra good stuff. I know. But kind of, you still gotta trust yourself. Regardless of what comms are happening, if they're like, hey, do A to B to C, you need to figure out how can I do that my way. Well, once you do that, you should be chilling. We not chill on cart? Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. In that scenario, you'd be fine just relaxing. So in the instance when you guys are playing on offense, it's not really like they're outplaying you. It's like you guys are outplaying yourselves. Every play that you guys go for goes like backwards because of how everything is set up, or because no one is. What's what I'm looking for? Is it adamant? I don't think that's what I'm looking for. It could work, but I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm gonna just say sure. No one is sure what they're doing. Everybody's like wishy-washy. You know, it's like we're not like really sure about what we should be doing when and stuff like that. On defense, it was just pacing, like you were saying, but on offense, it clearly is like, you know, we're just not committing. Or we're committing too hard when we don't have to. That's annoying. I'd have reported both of those players. All right, we're chilling. Got to get that space. This is going to be very hard for you to pull off, I'm not going to lie. But go over here, or if you really want to, you could try to sit right here. I don't know which one I would choose, but you don't want them to overrun your team in this space. This is one of those Hail Mary plays that like can make or break a match. And I don't know if you guys were able to push past this point, but this is something to speak on, because I do notice a lot of people make the wrong call sometimes, or they're afraid to make that call. Hopefully this doesn't crash. Okay, good. All right. So they'll either make the call to go here, right here, or they'll just sit back and do nothing. If you sit back, it actually allows them to take over these spots, which means that your team literally has nowhere to play anymore. So this is why it's important for us to take advantage of these things before the enemy team does. Let's see what happens. Let's see how this goes. Oh, your Psylocke literally saved the game there. Oh, your Psylocke saved the game there. Holy, because you guys are going to be in a very, very precarious position. That was a good Psylocke ultimate. Not for the sense of KOs, but just pressure. That literally like provided you guys so much pressure, so much space for free. Huge, 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 huge. That's what I'm talking about. That's team play right there. That's team play right there. Don't know why it took you guys almost the entire match to get there, but respect. Okay. Same thing here. We need to figure out a place to get to so that they can't come back and take these spots. That was good. I'm proud of you guys. All right. So they're going to come back and either stand here. They can come up and stand here. They can come up and stand there. They can come over here if they really want to. Maybe come around, whatever. We can't do everything ourselves. We have to trust our team. But what we can do is make it so that we can position like up there. So that way they can't push our team. Now, this is kind of sketch because you're going to be very far away from your team. So you have to make sure that your team is okay. If you really don't have time to ask or you don't want to clutter up the comms, I totally understand. I would probably try to fight from where you are fighting from and then maybe look like a feint. Look like you're going to the right when you're not. So if we look at your camera here, instead of hugging this wall, hug this wall. Oh, you don't really have a choice. I thought there was a break point here. Wow, it's way further back than I thought. Yeah, I would have come up here. I'd have came up here then. Never mind. Disregard. If there were a wall here, because some maps actually do have it, or not a wall, but like an opening. Some maps do have it. And you want to look like you're moving, you would fight from this way. And you know, shoot her like that. Because what this looks like to her is like, uh-oh, they're moving forward. And I need to reposition so I don't get caught out. If we look at it from her angle. Imagine if you got shot from... Like, imagine the wall you're on right now, so you're to the left and there's an opening there. And you shoot her from there, right? She's going to think you're moving this way. And it's going to force her to go back this way. Now, it looks like Moon Knight threw an onk, so she's going to back up anyway. But I just wanted to talk about that. You see how she's not really caring about what's over here, right? She doesn't care. They don't care because nobody's there. This would be your job. You want to create space. You want to make sure that they know there's a presence everywhere. And to do that, as I said before, come here and start firing at her. Let the enemy team put your shield up. Let them see, hey, Strange is there. Okay, and now you're playing the game of mental warfare. You know, there's a lot to the game. It's not just about playing the game, what you see on the screen, but it's about how you can trick them, how you can make them think, how to make them react. This is what really separates average players from great players. A lot of the times when I play Cap, it's very obvious that I'm doing that, but there's some characters that I play where you don't really see it because they're so slow, like Mag or Strange, but I still do the same thing. I try to make them think one thing, even though I'm not, even though I'm going to do another thing. It's like so OP if you can pull that off every single time and pull it off very consistently. You see kind of how like now they're like, okay, let's flood in. Well, you gave them the chance to do that. This is why I was putting so much emphasis over there on taking the spots before they do, because if they take the spots before you do, you're at a disadvantage. You want them to be at a disadvantage at all times. So as a tank, whether you're playing teams or solo, you need to think about, is there a spot that I need to take before the enemy team does? And if there is, then I need to take it. If not, then, you know, chill. Because now this just makes the game a lot harder. It doesn't make it unwinnable. It's perfectly fine. But I just wanted to put it in your head that it becomes harder because of the situation. All right, we're gonna look to have a reset. You keep swapping the Mag. Why are you mad at Angela kidnapping you? You're toxic. In a situation like this, wrapping around isn't really gonna do much for you because you're separating. This makes it really difficult for your healers to even play the game. So in a situation like this, Emma should come with you, or you should go with Emma and just be over here and help her out. You splitting up like this is going to end in catastrophe. But let's watch it. Okay, good. I was about to say, it wasn't going to be good. A good game. Nice. Gamers. Before we move forward, just in case someone watching the replay, like the VOD review of this, or maybe you're watching now, you might have the question. The difference between sticking together here, as I said before, versus Lauren coming here, as I said before that play, is that there were no enemies here, right? At this given moment, during this fight, there were enemies flooded here. This means if I go over here, I'm probably going to get sideswiped. There's nothing you can really do. The goal of it before was there's no one here. If I stand here, it makes them have to think about pushing this spot. Once they're already here, you have to play the team fight together. That's the difference. This was more of a setup phase, whereas the fight that we're in right now, we were post-setup phase. Now we're in the pre-fight phase. We can't separate because we know a fight's about to take place. If you guys had that question, there's the answer. I hope it made sense.
Keep fighting until we have a winner.
All right, we keep pushing. We keep pushing. We're gaming. We're gaming. So what I notice a lot is that you flip-flop between, and I don't know if you do this in solo. This could be strictly just be teams. But you flip-flop a lot between fighting and taking space. You don't really do them seamlessly. If we go back, you win the fight, but we're just chilling, trying to fight the Angela that's over there. Why don't we just take space? And then fight her when she comes across your screen. Don't press pause on your gameplay to look at her. You know what I mean? This happened. This is actually a habit that you have. This happened throughout the entire match. It's like you play, you do something, and then something switches off, and it's like, well, let's go fight. Instead of like fighting as you're playing your version of the game. Coming up here, maybe fighting that, getting them back, boom, boom, boom. You see Angela, boom, 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 right? Simultaneously, you're fighting, but you're also creating space for your team. You're not pausing. They just happen to be on your screen and you take a few shots at her as she runs away and you move forward and you do your job. Situations like this allows them to, once again, regroup and makes it harder for your entire team to play the game. Yeah, that was just bound to happen just because of what we did. I'm not saying that whole play is entirely your fault because it's not, but that was obvious that it was going to come. And it just was way easier for them to pull it off because you let them do it. In terms of what you were saying with your backline, that does happen a lot. But I'm going to tell you what I told Nash. You have to think about what characters are in that backline, right? You have to think about who is there. That's an Angela. I don't know what world an Angela can 1v4 or 1v5. I don't even know Angela that can 1v2, let's be honest. So the fact that she's just flying around shouldn't really mean that you have to do anything. Now let's just say there's a magic that happens to swing around. Well, then you got to pay attention to that. You can't just ignore that, right? We should be thinking about what characters are there, and that would help us understand should we have to look or not. Now, I'm not saying change your gameplay because you guys are in a tournament. Just stick to what you know, obviously. But you got to stick to your gut a little bit more sometimes because not everybody knows how to do what you do. This is not the same as solo rank because solo ranking, I'm like, bro, I don't know about y'all. Y'all suck. Your team understands what you're trying to do. It's just sometimes they don't understand the intricacies of it. You, as a tank, the idea is like, well, if my team's getting dove, I kind of have to help them, which is true. But there's a nuance to it. And that nuance is depending on which character. They might not understand that. And so if you're constantly trying to watch them and help them because they're freaking out, you as a tank, you're your own shot caller in a sense. You know, the nuance is, well, it's freaking Angela. You guys should be able to handle that. And if not, then that's when we need to, you know, talk about what happened. Look at the replay, see like maybe I could have done something differently. But constantly doing that is going to make your gameplay stagnate, especially when you were even doing it with the Emma. again, you didn't move forward there. And you decided to sit there on the... Or you decided to move backwards instead of sit there on the rock. So, I don't think you're wrong in any sense. I do understand where you're coming from. But just like what I told Nash, you really have to think about what characters are... What characters are actually in the game. Or in your backline. That would make it impossible for you to continue to play your game. Alright. So, let's move on to the next one. All in all, Lauren, I think that just kind of thinking about what's happening before it happens would help you out a lot. And thinking about what characters are in your backline will prevent you from turning around more often than not. Puka has a freaking replay review? Dude, Puka never wants my advice. Puka's a liar. Puka's a liar. Alright. Next code is going to be from Victor Rooney. I almost put his name in there. They've been like, you should be able to search for a replay code like that. No? You're like, Poppin', that's just looking at someone's match history, bro. I mean... True. Facts. Facts. 41-0? Holy! Guys, popping off! What is even the context of this situation? Jesus. No problem, no problem. I definitely still think it's hilarious that you try to salvage these situations. You're like, well, we're gonna lose. What can I do? It's actually hilarious. What can I do? Alright. This game, I think I did pretty good. Ended up winning, but I'm wondering if I improved. I don't know if I got lucky or the enemy team didn't counter me, even though the stats says otherwise, or say otherwise. The first round we lost hard though. I'm not sure why we did since it seemed like I'm just having a horrible time reading today. Their team wasn't together all the time. I've been trying to catch myself when I start to autopilot it and dive to the backline constantly. I think a good way that's been working is looking at the kill feed, as it helps to keep my mind from going through the motions and focus on what's happening more. I was low-key thinking to swap to Bucky because of all the dive to help, but I stuck it out. That's what I'm talking about. Stick it out. Stick it out. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. It's good that you bring that up, because that's definitely true. You don't really want to swap as often as you might think. If you play your character a lot, your character can probably do what you're trying to have them do. You just need to do it differently. The more you stick it out, the more you understand how to play in those situations. And then the more you understand how to play in those situations, the more that you understand when you need to swap. So, now you make me want to play Spider-Man. I want to play Spider.
Nice of y'all to show up here, but where the heck were you when
I have a rogue on your team? Have you guys been seeing more rogues still in ranked play? Or is it calming down?
All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
Alright, what we got?
Watch out, they're headed our way.
Alright. Cracking the whip. So your goal pretty much as Spider-Man is just to be a nuisance during the team fight. You can get KOs, don't get me wrong, but you also just want to be very, very hard to hit at all times. This is why I love when I look at Spiders play, because they have mechanics that I don't. I could be the basic Spider-Man, but just watching people do things that I can't do with my fingers is hilarious. Stream's a bit delayed for you, is it? Are you maybe not live? Or is it just delayed? The 2 games today had Rogue in one, not in the other. I'm shocked.
Count on me.
I don't know if these dudes. Yeah, I don't think it's you, Victor. I think it's me. Maybe it's the weather. Or it's YouTube. I don't know if they're just not shooting you. Or
There's another one down.
you are just outplaying. Because you're taking no damage, bro. Like, at all. Let me see. I noticed that Spider-Man games are very easy when nobody focuses you. Okay, yeah, that's why. So you guys have an Iron Man on your team and an Ultron and a Spider. So you're not wrong. The game is actually a lot easier for you when there's multiple things to pay attention to. This is why I always had a problem with Magic, because she takes a lot of effort to deal with, even by herself. So then when you factor in other dive characters or flyers, there's so many resources that have to go to so many places. It's very hard to play the game. This is a similar situation. Their team has to deal with Iron Man, Ultron, and Spider-Man. That is a freaking combo. Because all of them are very hard to deal with. So not to discredit and say that your game was easy, but it is something to think about, that's why you're not getting hit that often, which means you can play a little bit more recklessly. But that's also something that you can take advantage of. If you know for a fact that you're not being targeted that often, then you can really go ham, right? Once you start noticing, like, okay, they're paying attention a little bit more, then you gotta chill out.
Put some pep in my step.
We are undefeatable!
So what you're noticing right now is that you're just trying to like back up, which is fine. But what I want you to do, and again, you know, you're mechanically better at Spider-Man than I am, obviously. But what I want you to try to do is during a fight, try to be active at all times. Okay, like have like little, I don't want to say exercises, but test yourself. How long can I be active in this one team fight? I can do that only because I play Cap. So I can pull it off with Spider, but it's really only because I know when I can and can't be in versus I know when to press buttons for this character. So this is why my Spider-Man is like nowhere near mechanical level, but it can actually function. Because that's really his design, is like just be really annoying during team fights. So you do want to be as active as possible.
Pep in my step.
Here, you're not in any danger.
Are undefeatable!
And then you start running on the wall and just dipping out. You have jumps, you have literally your entire kit up right now. Just get in this Mantis's face to make her look at you so she's not firing shots at your Iron Man. You see what I mean? This is where the disconnect kind of comes into it. Even your Iron Fist there too. This is where the disconnect kind of comes in when you're playing a character like Spider-Man, Magic, Iron Fist, well, just any dive character, I should just say. You want to make sure that everybody's on the same page at once. If the fight is starting, you need to make sure that you're in the fight the entire time. If possible, can't be there all the time. And then when everything stops, you stop. So just kind of keep that in mind. Looks like you're about to go down again, but it took a long time for you to get there, considering that you had your kit up anyway. You could be surveying the situation, but again, you're not being attacked, so you shouldn't be pausing so much.
You see, this is why I protect my flesh parts.
Not saying you're wrong, just try to remain active, because stuff like that happens. Right? He gets picked off because he was down there by himself. You were down there, and you could have distracted, but... And Ultron was getting attacked too. Like, everything was just unfolding at once, but you weren't part of it. Not your fault. Not your fault why they got KO'd. That's not what I'm saying. But it's just always something to think about. He's like, well, I could have maybe been a little bit more active, so that way a lot of that focus is taken away.
With the amazing Spider-Man.
Felt like I would have done that too. Bro, I take some solo ults. Bro, I don't care. Get solo ulted, bro.
Watch out, they're headed our way.
Nice. You know, I'm jealous of you, by the way. Like, any Spider-Man that has mechanics, I'm jealous. Because I hate that I know how to play Spider, but I hate that my fingers can't pull everything off. It makes me mad. So just know each replay that you send me, you're killing me inside. Slowly but surely. I'll get there, though. Oh, gamer. That was really good. You see how you were confident. You see how you were in the fight. You see how, even though you were low, you were a presence. That's what I'm talking about. So this is the type of upkeep that you want to see, that you want to have when you're playing. It's kind of, from what we've seen so far, it's like a flip-flop. Sometimes you do it and sometimes you don't. But if you can manage to do this every single team fight where you're just always annoying, always a presence, always there, even when you're not there, that is what makes Spider-Man Spider-Man. And that's the difference between an average one, a good one, and then a freaking amazing one. No pun intended. Like, I rarely see those Spider-Man, even in One Above All. Rarely. But when you get that one that knows how to do it, then they're just a nuisance the entire team fight, and that's your goal. That was really well played by you. I just want to see it done repeatedly. That's also why I don't spam Spider-Man. This dude requires way too many. It requires too much uptime. Like, bro, I'm trying to relax. Ain't nobody got time for all this.
I protect my flesh parts.
Your team's capture progress is constant. We are undefeatable.
Okay, so what I want you to do, this is going to be very hard. I only know how to do this because, again, you know, playing all the roles, playing, you know, all the heroes, obviously being a cat player, I can pull this off with Spider, and I want you to start doing, whoa, pulse. I want you to start doing it too. So every time you get in danger, look what you do. You instantly retreat out of the team fight. I know that's habit, but try to break that. When you're fighting and going ham, just have an exit route in mind that is near your team. So here is a health pack. It's near your team. It doesn't look like you retreated. Here's the trick. Every time that you do that and you go backwards, I would notice this. I would have been read you like a book by now. Whenever you get scared, you leave. You leave entirely. Like you dip. That would be enough for me to take over your team. So what you need to do is that each time that you leave, don't make it look like you left. Even if you are very low, make it look like you didn't leave. Go somewhere that is near to them, so that way they don't just take advantage of the fact, well, Spider-Man's gone now. I'm telling you, that little mental trick would work wonders. I'm telling you right now, man. Go here to get the health pack, or, you know, sit in this corner. Like, if there was a corner here and there's no health pack, sit in this corner here, see if you can get healed. Go down here, see if you can get the health pack. This one's kind of like sketch, though. I probably wouldn't do that, but you kind of see what I'm trying to say. Stay near the team when you leave, so that you're just not MIA, because they see that. They see that. And believe it or not, when you're playing a character that's very annoying like Spider, people track you more. And when they start tracking you, you're going to have your patterns found out a lot more. And then, you know, you're just not going to be a problem. In a situation like that, that was a good retreat, right? I mean, you had no other option. Sometimes you're going to be in a situation where it's like, well, bro, I don't have anywhere else to go other than back. That's fine. But in this particular situation, that was another exit route. But because you're so... Your brain is kind of default to run away when things get kind of scary. Which is weird, because you actually did a really good job being low like the previous fight too. I'm telling you, your gameplay is kind of like... It's like wishy-washy. Not wishy-washy, flip-floppy. It's like you have your like God mode Spider-Man switch. You turn it on and you're a legend. And you turn it off and you're back. It's like, wait a second. Just keep the switch on. Leave it on, brother. I like this. I like this. You're gaming. You're gaming. You got the God mode switch on. The God mode switch on. That's what I'm talking about. God mode switch. Do you guys lose this round? That would suck.
Count on me.
Oh, they portal. No. Oh yeah, y'all lost. Oh, wait, call time? Yo, this is kind of hype. Oh no, the mantis. Oh, oh no. You gotta get that ult. Get that ult, man. Get the ult. No. Get the ult. You're just missing. I think the fight's over. I don't think you can turn it. Yeah. That sucks. No, you're so close to getting your ult. I think that was a really good job though. That was good. That was good. Your decision making was a lot better. That was good, dude. That was good.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Look at him. He's like, man, if I would have just got that ult. But maybe if nah, I just didn't because I didn't get that ult. I will say from the last stream I watched to Victor, he has gotten a lot better. Yeah, that was solid. That was good. It's just those little moments. That's the problem with like Spider is like you can do so much work, but if you mess up just those little moments, it can sometimes make or break the actual flow of the match. Bro, you are like on it. Wait, hold up. I'm gonna have to watch that one back. I need to look. Wait, what? What did I just watch? Is it because you double jumped? How did that work?
We are undefeatable.
Hold up. Oh, wait, the fight's over. What? I wanted to see how you stuck to that. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe because it was going faster than it looked. It looked like you were doing a lot more. Hold on. I'm not supposed. Look, sometimes I just need to make sure that I see what I see. But I think it's because I was speeding it up. It looked way different than what it looked like. We're gonna check. I'm actually genuinely curious. Yeah, that. What? That doesn't make any sense. Let me slow it though, because again, I watched it fast. Did you climb the wall? Oh, no. You went into an uppercut, into a double jump, into a, okay. Yeah, it looks really weird when I fast forward it. So that's why I wanted to see like what just happened. Okay, anyway, back to the game. So one thing I want you to get way better at, like way better at, and it's very hard to do with Spider, don't get me wrong, but once you learn how to do it, I'm confident you can learn how to do it. But I could definitely tell it's not full, it's never going to be fully there. You're not a perfect person. Nobody is. But I can tell that it needs improvement, and that's your target priority. So you're getting way better at focusing the proper targets at the right times. But there are some instances, like if a team fight is very hectic, I notice you kind of just focus what's near you. It's hard to do, especially with Spider, because you're not always in the right spot at the right time to go for the right target, especially because you're swinging around and stuff like that. So you don't have a lot of control over the character. But it is something to just kind of keep in mind. Sometimes you'll need to focus on a different target when the team fight is hectic. And we'll talk a bit more about it when we get there, but I really wanted to bring it up because target priority is one of the main things that you need to focus on because you're actually pretty good at taking out a target, which means your target priority should be a lot better because you know how to take out a target. You know what I mean? In perspective, when I play as Cap, I know what target I can go for, and you'll see that I'll go for that target, and then I'll dip out. And then I'll go for another target, dip out. And then I'll eventually commit on one and KO that target, right? That's because I'm cycling through targets on which one's easier and testing the waters and whatnot. I want you to get that down with your character. Obviously, that's not something I can do as Spider-Man myself because I don't have those mechanics. I don't have I can go test the waters over here, test the waters over. I can't do it as consistently as you. So I have to be a lot more selective when I go in because I know that I don't have a chance. If I'm in, I'm in. It's like, so, but when I play Cap, I can do that. That's what I'm confident you can too. So we'll look more about it, or we'll look more at it once it pops up. But just keep in mind, target priority. I need to get that down pack, especially during a hectic team fight, because that's going to be the way that I turn the game. I'm looking for a pick, and if I can find a pick and make this team fight a 65, I'm going to probably win every game. That's how you want to make it seem. Okay? You missed quite a bit today? No worries, no worries. It's going good, it's going good. We took a look at Lauren's team game, and now we're looking at Victor, our resident Spider Pro gameplay here. So the same rules apply to a DPS. You have the setup phase, you have the pre-fight phase, you have the full fight, and then you have the cleanup. Same rules apply. So we're gonna just zoom this out. I know that you can't see what I see, but this is just to give you more of a perspective of what I'm talking about. You want to think about what characters are actually the characters that you need to take out during a team fight. So the first thing that you can do is open up your scoreboard. Take a look. 17-5, 15-6. Venom is 18-2. Okay. So you look at the scoreboard, right? That's number one. We can actually write this down real quick to help you guys. So how do you figure out what you need to do to win a match? Like, how do you figure out who you should be focusing and stuff like that with your target priority? So one, who is performing the best, right? The second thing would be who is your team losing to? Believe it or not, most team fights aren't straight 6v6 and we lose together. There's usually one or two factors that cause your team fight to lose and break their foundation to lose a team fight. If you figure that out, you're golden. Number three, who can I KO before the full fight? The numbers aren't like this just out of coincidence. This is important. You can see the only thing that matters when it comes to who can I KO, it's last, because that's how it should be. You're playing a team game. You're not just going for KOs. This is something a lot of dive players and, well, yeah, I was going to say DPS, but tanks too. A lot of dive players just don't understand. They're like, well, I'm in the back line and I'm fighting and you guys don't do nothing. I'm doing it. I even say it on stream too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not opposed, but in my head, I know what I'm talking about in terms of, like, I might say it, but I'm not thinking what I'm saying. I'm just like venting. But this is why a lot of those times you get into those situations. My team doesn't help me. I'm taking out this guy and you guys still lose. I don't understand. Blah, 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 blah. Because horrible target priority. You need to understand what's happening with your team. Then you can understand what you can do by yourself. Who is performing the best is the easiest way to figure out what's happening. If we knew that Hawkeye was literally dumpstering the entire squad, that would be the guy. You just eliminate him as soon as possible. That would win you the team fight, right? Well, if we take a look, multiple people are performing well. Groot's doing fine. Venom's doing fine. Hawkeye's doing fine. Iron Fist's doing fine. All right, what's the next thing then? Who is your team losing to? During that last fight, it was really hectic, and we don't really have that information right now. But we will try to get that information during this next team fight. So because we don't have that information, we move to the next one. Well, at least who can I KO, bro? Well, that's when you swing in, look everywhere, see what's happening on the map. This is where you use that movement that you have to just survey the situation. And we talked about this last time we looked at your replay. So let's see. I would like you to just try to swing to their back line. Let them see you. Let them know. Like, boom. And then you're chilling. And you're right here or something. They know that you're here. Huge. Mental warfare. Spider-Man's not scary unless you know Spider-Man's there. Mental warfare. use his whip, use his web shooters as a way to scare people. It sounds like you're swinging. I think it's almost indistinguishable in the moment. I think there is a different sound effect to swing and web shooter, but to someone who doesn't play Spider-Man and to someone who's actually playing the match right now, it sounds almost identical. So you think he's just swipping around just everywhere. Use that as a way to like distract. You ever play like Assassin's Creed or any stealth game, right? And you throw a bottle or a rock, and there's like, what's that? Do that. Shoot a shot. They're gonna be like, what the? Good. Because if they do that, they're spooked. Huge. This allows you to be a presence without giving your location. Also allows you to survey the entire map at the same exact time. You gotta do this really quickly though. It's not just like I can sit here and do whatever I want. You gotta be fast. So you zip in, look around, shoot something, look around, identify. You see that rocket is right there solo. Take him out. You wouldn't get this information if you didn't swing in. You know what I mean? Also, if you do swing in and rocket sees you, he's gonna have to reposition to somewhere that he's not comfortable. Anyone who's camping like this in a spot like that, they're comfortable. They don't want to move. Get them to move by just being a threat, being there. And you don't have to hit the guy. Just be there. That type of stuff right there would automatically make your gameplay a lot cleaner. Bro, what? What did I just watch? She's trolling. Okay. So we're gonna pay attention to these three factors, and we're gonna see. Just a question aside from all this: is it possible? How do I throw a bomb from the back instead of from the front? For who? Spider-Man? I would not know how to answer that. If it's Spider-Man thing, Victor would definitely be able to answer. Okay, that was huge. That was huge. It was like actually huge. Okay, cool. I like this. This is exactly what I'm talking. This is why I hate your gameplay, Victor. Because you're so freaking God mode and then not God mode. This is good. You see how you're like there, but you're not there? They don't really know what you're doing. Now your team gets run over, unfortunately. But that's good. That's literally what I'm talking about. You're there, but you're not there. Those are the Spider-Man players that are just actually giga annoying. But we ask ourselves, why did we lose that fight? That is a weird. I feel like, even though this is a game, I feel like a real Peter Parker in a movie would still look like this when he starts to jump. Let's take a look at that TV fight and actually identify what happened, and then we can see if we can dissect it and play different. So, let's play at regular speed, and let's answer our question. I mean, I think they just really overextended anyway, and if I were you, I'd have pinged them back. So the Groot catches them up. They start to get hopped onto by... Wait, hold up. I was watching the wrong team. Okay. Groot walls them up. You snatch Venom, just to snatch Venom. Groot then ults. Hawkeye then shows up, and then yeah. Okay, so this would have been an actual time where you could have swung to the back and just dealt with the damage dealer. Because of just how it... This is something that you'd have to test on your own, though. You'd have to get comfortable with this type of gameplay. But generally what happens when I notice that the enemy team is doing something that can make my team get KO'd, like a big ult like that, or they're charging at my team, I try to do my best to break the charge. Sometimes it's to KO, sometimes it's to do just whatever you can to offset their push advantage, because that's typically what you have is like you have neutral, you have disadvantage, and then you have advantage. Well, when you start seeing them press their advantage, you want to try to do something to break that formation. You want to try to do something to slow that speed. And in this particular instance, you wasted your pull on Venom just to pull Venom. But he's where he wants to be anyway. This doesn't do anything. But if you know that they're pushing your team and you paid attention to your team getting low here, the better option would have been try to swing back and deal with this guy. And now you might not get the KO because there's 2 healers on him, but what they're going to do is focus all 3 people on you. When they have 3 players focused on you, this means that your team is going to be able to deal with only 2 players over there. Dive characters excel at this. This is why I don't like Magic, because she can do this for so long and it does not make sense as a DPS character. But Spider-Man, Iron Fist, Black Panther, like they can't do it for as long. She is basically a tank and she could do it forever, which is why I can't stand her. So you do that and it's going to slow the progress. And then you just swing out. There's also a health pack right there if you need it. And then there's also, I think, another one over here somewhere. Like over there. Yeah. I think there's also one over. There's a lot of health packs on this map now that I think about it. But that's what you would do. It would slow that push. Because look, if you did swing back there and he did that I am Groot, he was pushing his advantage, right? If he did do that and you noticed that that's what was happening and you swung on this, they wouldn't be able to help him right now. He would have I am Grooted. Literally nothing, because your team would have KO'd him and you win that team fight right then and there. So you see why it's important to follow these 3 things, even though it's on my face. I just realized it's important to follow these 3 things because yoink, there you go. It's important to follow these 3 things because you're able to then replicate this in the next team fight. This is consistent gameplay. It's not about your mechanics. It's not about anything like that. This is just game knowledge. And this is why I'd say it's more important to focus on this. A Spider-Man that can press all these buttons and do all these combos mean nothing if they don't know how to do it at the right time. That's why I'm jealous of you. Because if I knew how to press all these buttons with the timing that I know, I'd be a god Spider-Man. But only thing I can do is do old man Spider-Man. Like I said, I'm that fake Spider-Man that goes around the city acting like he's Spider-Man and then gets in trouble and needs the real Spider-Man. I don't know what she was doing there. That was so strange. So picks like that you're getting because they're out of position, which is huge. That's good, right? But you have to identify what's the difference between someone being out of position versus someone just being a free KO. This is where, again, dive players kind of get confused. They think, well, I'm gonna KO the healer repeatedly. Well, if you can get it for free sometimes, it's because they're out of position. And if they're in position, it becomes a lot harder to KO that target. So you have to switch your approach and maybe attack someone else. A lot of players that play healers or tanks sometimes blame the DPS for this. They're like, well, our DPS sucks because they can't KO their backline. And it's like, bro, if you ever play DPS, you know if their backline is good at pocketing and their team is good at peeling, no DPS is about to get those KOs, right? They don't understand what you understand. But you also shouldn't just be brute forcing the same thing over and over if it doesn't work. Huge, huge. Oh, huge pull. Huge pull. You're godlike, bro. I don't even want to play Spider-Man anymore. No, because if I feel like I play Spider-Man now, I have to look like this. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when you watch me play Spider-Man, Victor, does it look like it's slow motion? Or anybody who plays Spider-Man to like a mechanical extent? Do you guys watch it and be like, Poppin', you're slow motion, bro? That's what I feel like when I watch Cap players that don't usually play Cap. It's like, you're slow motion, bro. It's like, there's a difference between you and me. You're very slow motion. Slow doesn't mean bad. I'm just saying, you could definitely tell someone who has like a ton of time on a character because they're really, really fast. And their inputs are quick. It's not about their decision making. It's just movement. Also, I keep seeing my bars go down, which means that you guys might be delayed or you guys might be back a little bit. And if that is the case, make sure you click live to go back forward. If you're watching and you don't want to miss any context, well then obviously just watch the entire thing. But if you guys want to catch up, make sure you do that. It's not you. It's not you, Victor. It's me. I think it's me. I think my internet's just having some problems today. Oh, there's the cap right there. Okay, doing your thing, doing your thing. You couldn't really do anything about this situation, but I do want to discuss how you just instantly started to fight. You got to remember, setup, pre-fight, full fight, cleanup. Look what you're doing before the fight even started. There was no setup. And when I say setup for you, it's not like, oh, I gotta be super quiet and I gotta get a nice little hiding spot. That's not what I mean by setup. Setup for you is you need to get into a better position to be able to play the game. You need to make sure that you're good to go when the full fight breaks out. So a little bit further back. All right. So this is good, right? You set up. Like I said, you don't need to be godlike in your setup. You don't need to be like super sneaky. You just need to be ready to fight. Go in, but take a look at your team. Ooh, wrong person. Started theirs. Yeah, they're not set up. They haven't done any pre-fight, nothing, right? You're already just doing it. You need to wait. You don't control the pace of the game. If you want to do that, you play a tank. You need to wait for them because if they spot you, they're all focusing you. You know what I mean? And so I know because you're fast, you can do whatever you want, man. I get it. But getting disciplined is how you become a really good Spider-Man. I'm telling you right now. Even as Cap, knowing that I can just do whatever I want, I had to rein that in so quick because I can't. You really have to think about my team. That comes first every time you play the game. Every time you play the game with your team. Sucks. You can hate them, whatever, but that's how it works. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. That's true. That muscle memory do be coming in handy for folks who know their kidney combos. That's definitely true. So you see now your team is getting into the setup slash pre-fight phase, but you're expended basically. You know, you're running away, your cooldowns have been used, and now you're trying to fight this fight. And we're still in pre-fight phase. Now we can say that we're in full fight phase because this dude just popping up. Positioning wise, they're not really, but you know, because he ulted, we can just assume that it's party time. Now she ults, right? Party time. This is fine to try to get him. Okay. Now, remember the phases, right? Setup, pre-fight, full fight, cleanup. We restarted again. All right? We restarted it. So now we're back in the setup, pre-fight phase. You need to restart. You need to reset. It's not just your team. You need to do it too. But if you look at your gameplay, you didn't. You're still there. The higher you go, the faster this happens. And we were talking about this in Lauren's gameplay. It is quick. It happened in literally a second. A full phase just went by and reset itself in like a second. The higher you go, the faster it gets. You need to reset. Go back to your setup. Go back to your pre-fight. Go back to your full fight. Clean up. Let's repeat. Because you're sitting here, right? Now you go to setup, but the fight already started. You see, now you're behind. And now you're like, well, I'm not in a good spot to set up because you're right. You're not because the fight already started. Like now you have to play fast and you have to play off of mechanics and you have to play all this you have to do because we didn't pay attention to resetting, getting back, and whatnot. So I'm not saying it's your fault why we lost this fight because it's not. Your team definitely got run over. But you can impact so much more by understanding that you do need to have that reset in mind. You can't always play the game if your team is not playing the game. Think about them, pay attention to them. What are they doing? Who are you even playing with? You have a Magneto, you have a Thor. Thor is a lot more active than Magneto, so maybe you can be a little bit more in with him, but you can't always be in because, you know, like the resets matter more because those aren't characters that are always in. Thor doesn't want to always be in. Mag definitely doesn't want to always be in. Moon Knight doesn't, right? So your approach needs to shift a little bit. Your approach needs to be a little bit slower now. Your approach needs to have more resets. It needs to have more fight phases. When you're playing with stuff like Hulk, The Thing, Cap, what is it? Magic, Iron Fist, like you have all those on your team, you guys can just do whatever you want because there's not a lot of resets, right? It's like your turn, my turn. It's like tag team. Tag, go in Spider-Man. All right, I'm done. Tag, go in Magic, right? Go in Iron Fist. Go in Cap. Like, but when you have a team like this, it don't work like that. You gotta slow it. You gotta reset. You start doing that, you be go. The gameplay doesn't look that slow. It's part of a process, I think. Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think when it definitely gets to be intense, I start missing everything. But it always makes me feel better because actual Spider-Man players miss things too. So if they don't hit everything, I'm definitely not supposed to. You know what I mean? Character's hard mechanically. There's no doubt about that. You can do the basic stuff like I said before, and you don't have to do that, which is what I don't do. But if you really want to get to that level, he is very hard mechanically. The way I play him isn't that difficult though. I just swing and start ulting people. Call it a day. Yeah, it's important with divers specifically because there's not a lot of pause to them. Not a lot of pause to them at all. And depending on what rank you're in, it doesn't actually look like that. I just know it's happening a lot quicker because of the rank that this player is in. But like if you're in gold, platinum, or below, like the phases are muddy. They have them, but it's a little muddy. Dude, this guy is like godlike. That Venom? That's a true Eddie Brock. See how much you're still in? You have yet to like move away. You're still just in. You can call that a reset. You know, you kind of sat back, you surveyed the situation. I correct me if I'm wrong, but I just have been there. I feel like you don't want to do this anymore, but you feel like you have to because the more time you sit doing nothing, the more time you think your team, or the less time I guess it takes for your team to lose the fight. Does that make sense? I'm trying to like put it in better words because I had this feeling before when I used to play and I was getting used to these dive heroes and things like that. It's like the more time you're gone from the team fight, the faster your team starts losing the team fight. So your brain kind of kicks in and it's just like, well, I guess I'm just going to be a part of it because I don't want to leave and then something bad happened and I'm not there. I could be wrong. Let me know, Victor. But that's what the gameplay is kind of streaming right now for the past 30 seconds. Doesn't seem like you really want to be here, but it's just kind of like I have to be. I mean, ults are popping off. People are fighting. I just have to. Now you're back to normal, it looks like. But just for those like few 30 seconds, it was just like I don't want to be here. Because you were deciding on the fly what to do. You didn't really have a game plan with your gameplay. You can tell when you have a plan versus when you just do something to do it. Oh, that's a fat ult. Yeah, that's a fat one. Oh, that was juicy. Oh, that was juicy. Oh, see, you messed up too. You know, I thought it was just a me problem. You messed up too. Maybe he's just not supposed to do the damage. No, he's not supposed to KO. That's what it is. It's not me messing up. He's just not supposed to KO through her anymore because of her high HP. Only set 250 HP targets. That makes me feel a lot better, to be honest. Because I used to think like, bro, I am like awful. And then you look at him and it's like, wait a second. You actually do the same thing I do. Where you just can't finish him off. They live at like 10 HP. So that's just them nerfing Spider. Okay. Okay, cool. Nerfing Spider and buffing these healers. All in all, Victor, I think you're doing better for sure. I just think you got to fight with the pace of your team a little bit more, especially depending on which characters they choose. But you're definitely come a long way. And I think you're doing a great job. So keep it up. That wasn't a lucky win. You played really well that game. It was deserved. It was deserved. All right. Looking at another here. Any questions, by the way, anybody, before we move to the next replay? Whether it is Victor or anybody else? That's how it feels when I play Cap too. Like when I go for a play and then they just live with just like a sliver of HP. It's like, dude, that's so buns. Rogue though, no problem at all. Did I say hello to you, Knife Wife, by the way? I acknowledged your comment, but I don't think I said your name. Hello, how are you doing? Have you tried Rogue yet? Do you like her? Do you care? Do you care? Yeah, I feel like I always have to be doing something, otherwise I'm useless. A spot on analysis. Yeah, I used to be there too. It's not true. Some moments that is facts. And that's why I said you got to make sure that you're timing your pace with your team, because it lets you know how much more you need to be on the field. If you had a really dive heavy team or an active team, you need to kind of have really high uptime. But your team started to swap characters and they started to pick more slower paced characters, so you're able to pause a little bit more and not, and just be okay with it and let it play out. So I did get to try Rogue a little, at least a little last night. I got mostly stomped, but she's fun so far. Yeah, she's good. Are you even a tank player? I just realized. But yeah, she's definitely a fun tank. I'm gonna make her my main. I'm gonna play her some today if I don't feel too drained after reviews. All right, looking at this next replay, they said, I play Cloak and Dagger, Doctor Strange, and Mr. Fantastic, depending on what role the team needs. But mainly I play Cloak and Dagger because I feel I have the most impact with the character, and many others don't play the character correctly. You're preaching to the choir with that one. However, I just cannot manage to consistently win games no matter how well I play. This game is a prime example of that. I'm looking to see what differently I could have done to change the outcome. I really don't think I can play the character too much better than I already am. Thank you, Lofton. No problem. No problem. Let's take a peek. Let's see what's up. That is not just a you thing. That actually is something that a lot of players feel when they're playing strat. They're like, bro, I don't really understand. What more can I do? There's a little bit of a merit to that. Sometimes there's realistically nothing you can do, but that goes to all roles. It's not just strat. So it's definitely possible. That being said, you definitely can play better. Everybody can play better. So keeping that mindset definitely helps you out a lot, because then you can start seeing if there's any other possibilities to do something differently. Reaching out and submitting a replay, a huge first step to it. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So we'll take a look. We'll see what's up. Maybe it was your team. If it is, I'm going to tell you. Obviously, I'm not going to just make everything seem like your fault. Even with the Spider-Man gameplay and even with the Mad gameplay from Lauren, there's some things where it's just like, bro, that ain't your fault. I mean, it is what it is, right? So I'm not going to lie to you and just make you work on stuff that you technically don't really need to based off the visual. I don't usually tank unless I'm forced to fill, so I definitely need more experience with the role overall. Yeah, I don't think Rogue is a basic tank type of character. That is a you need to know what you're doing character. Oh no. That person wants to play Rogue so bad they're making you guys have 3 tanks? Yikes. Yikes. One of those games.
3, 2, 1.
Alright.
You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
Y'all a bunch of deadweights.
Some uninvited guests. I was fine, thank you. Invisible?
Okay. I think you're doing pretty good. Just make sure that you're hugging a wall like this one. If you go over there where they are, it's kind of sketch because they might actually start fighting you. But being over here allows you to see not only what's to your left, but it allows you to see to your right. And then you're also able to walk down should you need to. I honestly really don't like this point because it's such an awkward point for everybody. The attackers, the defenders, it's just not good for anybody. If you're going to run backwards, run this way. So that way you can see the whole team again. Your goal as a strategist is to always try to see the entire team at all times. It doesn't matter where you're standing. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're running away, you need to try to have that field of view of everybody. This is going to make it so that not only are you able to assist your team if you need them, but you're also able to read the fight a lot more accurately. If your back is to the team, then you don't really know if they're pushing you. You don't know if they're holding you, unless you're on comms. Unless you're on comms. You don't know any of this information. So, yeah, either go this way so you can see. Go down here. And just say, all right, tank, you're doing your thing. But when you go into the team, now you're sandwiched. Like now you can't do anything now. Right? As you see, they start pushing you, and we didn't really know that was happening until she got really close. And now we have to try to think on our feet. Just positioning better makes it easier for you. I'm not gonna lie to you. To any support player, here's the hard truth, man. I'm not even gonna front. Here's the hard truth. If you're playing solo, and there's a Black Panther, you need to play Ultron. It's not because of the changes this patch. It makes it actually way better for it to play him this patch. It's not because of the changes. Like, Black Panther is so ridiculous that you need to play Ultron into it. Sometimes magic is the same. It depends on how good the magic is for me. But if there's a Black Panther, I always play Ultron. Play Ultron. You don't have an AoE ult, I know. You might feel like you're not the best Ultron player, I know, but you need to learn. You don't need to be a god with Ultron. It's just whenever Black Panther starts attacking someone, put the drone on them and shield with your triangle or whatever button it is for you. I don't know if you're a console player or not. Shield with that. It will allow them to survive the entire combo. And they're going to either... And you don't have to pay attention to them anymore. You don't have to fight him or nothing. You can if you want, but just put it on him and then that's that. This makes it so he can't one-shot anybody. And this makes it so that you don't have to pay attention to him and you can focus on other things. I'm telling you, that is the secret trick to beating Black Panther as a strategist. Just let me be honest. You can play other stuff if you really want to, but I don't have time for that. I just nope out. You're like, Poppin', I never play Ultron and I beat Black Panther. Well, then good. That's it. That's good for you. I'm not stressing out over that character. I will Ultron so quick. Then they'll swap off Black Panther instantly, and then I'm like, good. Don't play that character with me. Don't play that character with me, bro. Now, it really just depends on your comfort level. Sometimes I will. Sometimes I won't play Ultron. But it really depends on, like, is your teammates getting KO'd really quickly? Are you getting hard focused? You know, really factor that in. If you feel like the Black Panther is not that great and you can survive, do so. But there are some amazing Black Panther players out there, and I don't deal with it. I don't deal with it at all. Gaming. I really like how you're starting to go into cloak and then go back to dagger. Learning how to do that is huge. I know in that particular instance, hello? You gonna play the game, Daredevil? In that particular instance, there's a team fight happening, so you're always in cloak. But that's always something that you want to keep in mind, is flipping back and forth. Usually I go based off cooldown, so I'll flip the dagger to the bubble of the curtain, and then swap. And then swap back once it's back up. So far, so good. I mean, I don't really see anything crazy alarming. Like I said, I would just play Ultron. It's funny because I know you didn't even want to go over there, and I feel your pain entirely. Like, you did not want to go over there. And I was like, I don't want you to go over there either, but you got baited. You're like, fine. And then you went and you just got obliterated for it. You were in the right by not going that deep. That's like the worst thing as strategist, ain't it? It's like you don't want to go over there, fighting over there, and you know if your team gets wiped, you can't really play the game by yourself, obviously. So it's like you have to go, and it's like, oh my god, bro. Oh my god. It's like I knew I shouldn't have went. I know how you feel, man. It's not it. Yeah, I don't think you can really do for them. That was just a really weird location. Yeah, you're a very safe player. That doesn't necessarily mean you're doing everything right. But I do want to compliment that you're a safe player, because a lot of strat players are very aggressive and they don't position well, but you're positioning well. I mean, I don't think you paid attention to that, the fact he was there, to be honest. I think I heard him, but I was wondering why you didn't turn around, but I don't think you knew. What's up, Poison? Hello, hello. Oh, did he swap off of Black? Okay, he swapped off of Black Panther. That's good.
Down to 30 seconds.
Just reset. Nothing you can do. Just reset. Don't even try to fight. Yep.
There's still a chance to stop them.
No, there was no reason for that. Just reset. I mean, the fight's over, man. Like, even if your team spawns the fight, there's nothing you can do. I know you feel like you want to help, but this is going to be your downfall. As a strategist, I don't know if you ever watched me play strategist, but oh, is this your replay surfer? I don't know if you've ever watched me play strategist, but I have a philosophy. I don't do anything that I don't want to do. So, I don't care what rank it's in. The reason that I think like this is not because I think my team sucks, but it's because it's important to have as a strategist. You should understand what fights you can and can't actually play through. If you don't understand this, you're not ready to climb. You really need to have that idea. And this goes for all roles, really, not just that. As a DPS, you need to know what fights you can win and what fights you can't win. As a tank, you need to know what fights you can tank and what fights you can't tank. As a healer, you need to know what fights you can heal and what fights you can't. Clearly, you're not healing this fight. There's only one player over there into 6, right? So we shouldn't even put ourselves in danger. Whether or not you survive, it doesn't matter. We just shouldn't be there. Because if you survive here, cool, but if it happens again later into the match, if it happens again in the next match, if it happens again, maybe 2 matches from then, right? You're gonna get KO'd. So we need to kind of to nip these things in the bud by saying, I'm not comfortable. I don't care what you guys are saying, bro. It's not a fight we can fight. Let's just let them have a point, you know? Like I said, it was whether or not you survive. It doesn't really matter. It's just the fact that we don't win this fight. Like, all of this spiraled because of that. You know, your team thought you can win. And it's not they thought you could win because of you. But it just unfolded that way. So we ended up losing more space than we would have if we just would have let them have the point. If you... I say this every match. I'm going to say it again. Let me see. There we go. Whew. We're really up there. Where are we in this map? Okay, that's the... Wow, this looks so different. This looks so different from up high. Okay, so I always tell you guys each map has different, like there's a different set of amount of fights that you guys can have in each map. It's kind of strategically designed that way. So this is point, right? It looks weird, but this is like first point. That's one fight. Then you have the second fight. This is the hill. That's fight number 2. You got to try to get up here. The next fight is going to be either here or over there. Usually you're not going to be able to run all of these. You can really only run one. But sometimes you can run 3 if you guys have characters that can get back to point. But generally speaking, you have 2 fights in this little section. That means that if you know that you lost fight 1, which you guys did, you guys lost fight 2, which you guys did, you don't even try to fight it again. There's nothing left. You have to then reset at the next fight on the next point. Does that make sense? Because if you do try to fight in locations that are not necessarily designed to defend, you're going to lose. So let's just say this is fight 1, right? You can kind of fight right here too. Like I said, this is kind of all 2 fights. But let's just say instead of fighting here, you guys decide to fight where that gate opens up down here. You guys have no cover, right? There's nothing there. You guys are going to get run over. It's because it's not strategically designed to help you win that fight. There's multiple points for defense that makes it easier for you guys to play the game. And if you try to fight anywhere in between, again, this map is a little bit different because you can kind of fight anywhere depending on where it's at, but just hear me out. If you try to fight anywhere in between these checkpoints, these markers, these team fight locations, you're going to lose. Your team was going to lose that fight because they were fighting literally outside of a team fight zone. Right? They're trying to fight here. There's no cover. There's nothing here for you. Of course you're going to lose. Not because your team sucks, not because they're bad. It's just, it's not hospitable for a team fight. You guys have no advantage. There's nothing there. Now you could say, Poppin, well, what if we fight here? You're right. If your tank's set up here, this is where you would fight. But nobody was set up. Everybody got wiped after you, so you spawned first. Because you know by the time your team comes back, it won't be until maybe they reach this little area there. You should just hang out back here and sit further back. This lets your team know that we have to, reset and put ourselves back. Even in ranks like bronze or silver, it literally helps. People don't realize how much your body presence is enough to get your teammates to do what they don't want to do. If I see a tank go forward, most of the time, the entire team is going to follow. If I spawn and see my healer sitting way back here, most of the time, I'm not going to just go to the team fight without my healer. It just doesn't make sense, right? Your body presence and your posture and where you're standing and your positioning, that all matters into the subconscious of who you're playing with. And it makes a big difference. And if you can consistently do this as a support player, you're going to start conditioning your teammates to only fight on your terms. And when they start to only fight on your terms, your games go a lot smoother. But this is something that you have to consistently do. And it's something where you have to stick to your guns a lot more. And that's why I stress for support players, it is one of the hardest things to do. Because I know you feel like, I have to. You don't. You do not. And like I said, it doesn't matter what rank I'm in. It's not something where it's like, well, Poppin, it's just because you're smurfing and you don't care, you think your team suck. And no, that's not it at all. I do it in any rank. If I don't feel comfortable with my skill level of handling a certain situation, then I'm not going to put myself in that situation. It just makes no sense. I'm playing against myself, That's how it is for everybody. Sometimes your teammates put you in really crappy situations that you have to figure out what to do and you're not comfortable in. And that's what makes people lose fights. Woo! I like that. That was saucy. That was saucy. You see how you're kind of doing it now? And even right now, you're like trying to go help this dude being crazy. They should not even be there. Start pinging these people. Good, 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 good. You started, but you stopped. Thank goodness. Because it was unnecessary. I mean, I know the round was over, so you probably didn't care at that point, but that type of stuff is what I'm talking about. You got to hold your position. Because if you hold your position, guess what? That squirrel gun was holding her position, right? So it's not just like all of us are going to just run it down. You have two people behind us, like, what are y'all doing? And then your invisible woman and whoever was next to her probably thought the same thing, was like, two of y'all are there. There's two of us back there. Should we move? Like, you can see it. You see it in the interaction between wanting to move forward. You didn't want to move. Like, everybody was scared to move forward because you guys weren't moving forward. It's actually crazy how much it matters. Look at Rogue's screen. She sees that you guys are sitting there. So she doesn't want to move. She says, it's okay. I guess you guys are sitting there then, right? Now Invisible Woman doesn't want to move because she saw Rogue back up and Rogue saw, right? And then now she's back there and she's like, well, if you ain't moving, then I'm not moving, right? They're all not moving because you're not moving. It's literally so free if you can learn to do this. It's so free. People only do dumb stuff because people are following someone else most of the time. Thor goes in, so Punisher goes in. Well, that's Punisher's fault, right? But we only lose 2 people instead of 4. Way better. That type of stuff right there wins matches. So yeah, keep doing that. Keep your positioning. You stand your ground a lot more than a lot of other strat mains, so I'm not saying you're not. You're doing a very, very good job not succumbing to that, for sure. All right, pushing is going to be one of the harder things for you. My advice for when you're trying to push is never use your ult first. Never really use your ult first if you can help it regardless, but when it comes to pushing, this is even more important. At least capping in the first point. So what I will say here, and I noticed it the first round, but I didn't speak on it because it wasn't as important, but it's pretty important now, is you wiggle a lot more than you should. So if you look at your gameplay here, let's just go back to normal. Okay, you're here, but look what you do. You're playing against characters with AoE, Iron Man, Jeff, Cloak and Dagger. I mean, you can guess you know, if you want to factor in homing missiles as AoE. You have Mag, and look how we play the fight. You walk into danger several times. But for what? You see? If you're trying to heal, why do we keep walking into damage? It's like you're not sure. I know what's happening. Like, I know you're like, I'm moving forward because I thought we were pushing. But it's kind of like you're unsure what's about to take place. And you're not sure what to do, clearly. Like, gameplay speaking, maybe in your head you had a different thing, but I'm speaking just solely off your gameplay. It looks like you're not sure what to do. Like, are we moving? Are we not? Are we sitting here? What are we doing? Are we fighting? What do I need to help you? Do I need to poke? What? And that when you start having all of that happen at once when you're playing the game, you start just positioning in weird spots like you're doing right now. The trick to it is to go in priority. Priority number 1, it's always going to be make sure my team is full HP. So yeah, of course you got attacked here, which is fine. You run back. Okay, you chill out. Make sure my team is full HP. What did we notice is that we our Punisher got KO'd, so we don't really have a fight to fight anyway. There's no pressure. We know that nothing's going to happen. The kill feed literally said Punisher got KO'd. There's no world where we win a 5v6. So unless someone gets KO'd on their team, we don't have any pushing happening. So your goal is to just sit here, take no damage, and heal. You're getting your ult charge, and you're not taking more damage. Right? So you shouldn't be walking up like this because there's nothing to walk up to. But every time you walk up, you take damage. And this is where you see people have clips of like Spider-Man or Black Panther or these characters coming out and then saying, dive is broken, dive is broken. But if you look at your HP, it's 231. That's less than a 250 HP character. That means that you will get one shot. It's not that the DPS is broken. It's because we decided to take damage to handicap us to get one shot. You know what I mean? So you have to be very careful on how you're moving and where you're standing, because if you take a little bit of damage like this is enough to KO you. Even if it's like a sniper, just be cautious. We already know that Punisher got KO'd. We just got to chill out and relax for a bit. Yeah, and then you back up, which is fine. So although it might seem like that's a very nitpick thing, I know from your comment you were saying, well, it feels like there wasn't much for me to do. You know, I feel like I played pretty well, and yet I feel like I had not as much impact as I could have. Little situations like that matter a lot. Even though you were perfectly fine here, you will have another game. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe a week from now, whatever. You get into a higher rank where getting that low, these DPS players will feast on that. And you'll get one shot every single time because you kept dropping below 250 HP because you got tapped by an AoE shot that you shouldn't have been standing next to anyway. Again, seems very nitpicky, but I'm only doing it because of how, and clearly you want to start winning more matches and you want to start climbing. So these little things are going to prevent you from winning fights if you get picked. You know what I mean? Fade away from DD into my team and just started to help them with damage afterwards. Exactly. But the thing with the damage is that there was no goal to be made because Punisher got KO'd. So there's no reason for you to try to do damage. You know what I mean? Strat is very like on off of a roll. Like sometimes you're fighting, sometimes all you're doing is heal botting. You have to know how to do both. As weird as it sounds. Okay, so it's your job to not ult. You don't want to ult. Oh, I knew you want to ult. The problem with this ult is they have their ult too, which means that you just ulted first. So you might not win this team fight. Also, you had people that have been picked off before you ulted, so you might not win. Let's see though, maybe you will. You guys ended up winning? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's good, but it's crazy. I don't think you guys should have won that fight. That's the thing. It's like sometimes you shouldn't win. And oh, okay, you didn't win the fight. I was about to say. I feel like sometimes I do reviews or I coach people, and I'm like, you shouldn't do it. And then 2 seconds later, it works, and I'm like, okay. Now I just sound like I'm stupid, but trust me, it shouldn't have worked. You shouldn't play games that way. Because it should not work. Just again, don't really need to ult. You want them to ult first. Luckily, you have a lot more leeway because of they only have one strategist, but we shouldn't just be firing off our ults. Unless you really need to. I'm not one of those people that are like, never use your ult first, but you need to really think about it. So in this situation right here, I know what you were trying to do, but what's more important, winning the team fight or healing that Punisher? Look at his screen when you do, or look at his positioning when you're over there. Where is he going right now? To a health pack. Just fight. No? There's a health pack right there. He is fine. If he gets KO'd, so be it. But you can use your team fight presence over here. What if there was someone that was really, really low that you could take out real quick? This is going to be one of the hard things about playing strat, because you got to know when you should be continuing to fight versus when you should try to heal somebody. You don't heal everybody because you're low. Some people will be able to get a health pack, or some people will be able to reposition and just get heals when they can. This is one of those situations. I know he looks low, but he has a health pack over there. He is fine. There's only one person that can get him, and it's the Iron Man, and he doesn't do enough damage to really take this guy out. So you should focus more on this team fight. We could be fighting this Daredevil, get the free pick, and then we could be fighting everybody else. Again, I know it's a little nitpicky, but these are the things that will make or break team fights, especially down the road. I never ult first, but I see how that one was bad. Yeah, I don't think you should always never ult first. I just think there's a time and place for it. That's all. That's all. Alright. Looks like they have 3 healers now. So this means you have to be very careful about how you ult. Your positioning is really good. I like that is something that is one of the most commendable things about your gameplay. Your positioning is like, it's really solid. You do not put yourself in danger if you don't have to. That doesn't, obviously that doesn't carry or, not carry a match, but it is something that you should definitely pat yourself on the back for, because that's not something that a lot of people do properly. I don't know if you should have ulted when you ulted. The reason why I say what I say is because I don't think we knew how many people got eaten by Jeff before you tossed that ult out. And I don't think you knew who got eaten by Jeff, unless you just got like, because I was watching and I still couldn't tell. Granted, it was sped up. So let's watch it normal speed. Now, even then, you wouldn't. It's really hard to tell who he just ate. So in a situation like this, because we don't know, you want to not try to force anything, because the fight could already be over based off who Jeff decided to just eat up. Who did he eat? Was it both tanks? No. Who did he eat? It was Punisher and Squirrel Girl. Okay. Well, that like obviously is game over because you don't have any DPSs. So I wouldn't have ulted here, because again, we don't really know the situation. We're overcommitting to a fight without any means of us being able to win. So I would have saved the ult, just tank the fight. I don't even think you needed the ult. I think you could have just healed them as well. I think it was more of just like a reactive ult. Like whether you won or lost this fight, I'm just saying like in general, that ult wasn't gonna do anything for you because not all your teammates are on the field at that time. You're just letting tanks survive longer, but tanks don't usually get KO'd quickly anyway. And you can heal them. Now you're at a disadvantage because you don't have any ults and they'll have their ults before yours. Hopefully you get your ult back before. Nice. Okay, don't like this. Don't like this at all. No. Okay. So, who just attacked you? Mr. Fantastic. Who just got KO'd? Magneto and Invisible Woman. What does this mean? Nobody in their right mind is going to be able to hit you from where you are. Toss your daggers like you do, like, toss your daggers like Rocket bounces orbs, and try to rotate yourself to see more, because you can decide, should I throw the healing on myself or not? Rocket ulted right now, so it obviously doesn't matter, but I'm just telling you for future references. So as you start moving, right, you start bouncing your orbs off here or bouncing your orbs off there, and it should start going to the team. And then there's like a little lip here that you can bounce it off of too. You would hit like that and it'll bounce to the right. You do that and you rotate your camera to see what you're looking at. Because if they need a healing bubble more than you because they're in the team fight and it's overtime, that should never be used on you. Given the fact that nobody is near you, you have to try to ask yourself, can I survive with the amount of HP that I have? A lot of Cloak and Dagger players just throw the bubble on themselves and just because they're low. But sometimes that is way more useful for your team. Again, Rocket ulted, so it really doesn't matter at this given situation. In this given situation, but should he not have ulted, and someone on your team needed health, and you just used it on yourself, you lose the game right here. It's so crucial as healers that have this one-time ability to make sure that it's used on your team. Yeah, like imagine that Squirrel Stampede was getting your team extremely low, and you didn't really have anything left for them. You could have had your bubble and that would have been able to help them out. You know what I mean? In your gameplay specifically, a lot of what I'm saying doesn't really seem like it matters because it doesn't happen. But you have to trust me that in most scenarios, it is important that you do it that way or you think about it that way. I don't really think there's much you can do other than I don't know. Could you have stopped that? Oh, not that. I want to see if that was just unlucky or you could have actually saved them. So you tried to fade to save. You weren't close enough to save anybody, I don't think. Oh, yeah, that was your fault. If you would have tossed your curtain, like as soon as he started to go past your screen, you would have hit it and you would have KO'd him. But it's too late. That's the only time where I would definitely say this and then the other ultimate that you had used last fight. Those are the only two moments where I thought maybe you could turn the match yourself. The rest of the stuff, it was solid gameplay, but unfortunately, it doesn't matter what game you're playing. When it's team-based and there is a timer on it, League of Legends, Overwatch, Marvel Rivals, Rainbow Six Siege, whatever, right? Most of these games you can't carry the entire match. I always say this. It looks like this, right? And each spike is a carry moment. Carry, 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 carry. If the person always fights down here, you'll never be able to carry because you're missing all of your spikes. I think a couple of spikes that we talked about didn't matter because your team pulled through. One of the spikes were, let's just say, the Punisher. The other spike was that last team fight. Then the other spike was this Jeff moment. This one didn't really matter that much. This one, it could have helped to have the ult for the next fight. But again, did it really matter? We can't tell because it didn't happen, right? But this one definitely was doable. You could have KO'd that Jeff and we didn't. So although you might not be able to carry the entire match, there's moments that we could have, put it in our favor and we didn't. That's what you're looking for. So whenever, not just you in particular, I'm speaking in a broad term, whenever anyone feels like, well, my matches are uncarryable or, my teams are really awful or, it's super, super hard to win these games, you got to think of it that way. Are you missing your chances that you have to actually carry? If you are missing those chances, you're just going to always look like you can never do anything. You have to identify these chances and actually take them. I think for the most part, though, if you would have saved your ults a little bit more for this game, it would have went a little bit differently. But I think this Jeff moment was probably the make or break. And honestly, you probably could have just not have faded because if he eats you, that's good because he's eating only you, not your entire team. If he doesn't eat you, well, you're already ready as cloak to light this dude up as soon as he comes out and you would have killed him or KO'd him. You know what I mean? But that's just one moment. I think overall, your gameplay is very solid. But the moments that you need to carry, you're not showing up for. And so you want to really highlight these moments when you're playing and think about, well, was there a different spot that I actually could have maybe turned the tide in our favor? Most of the time when you're playing strat, it's your ultimate usage. Like 9 times out of 10. If I'm ever playing strat, no matter what rank it is, 9 times out of 10, I can turn a fight based off how I use my ultimate. So learning to use your ultimate at the best chance possible, not just second. There's times where you don't need to ult at all because your team, the enemy team just wasted theirs. And, you holding that, saving your ult for another fight, and then winning that fight with your ultimate because you're the only support that has one, you just want two fights instead of one. So ultimate usage is like godlike important. And then, as I said, these other little moments like just KOing the Jeff. That moment was very simple and it was understandably something that it just happens, man. You can't really hate yourself or beat yourself up for that. I actually have a video talking about support ultimates and how to use them. I'm going to link it in chat. And for those of you interested that maybe not have watched it, definitely give it a watch if you have trouble with your support ults, because I talk about all of them and how to use them properly. Again, though, overall, your gameplay is solid. Are you stuck? Just a quick question. Are you stuck or are you just not climbing as fast as you would like? Because your gameplay doesn't scream stuck. Your gameplay seems like you have a really solid foundation. You should be climbing, it's just slow. If you are stuck, let me know because we can figure out like what's actually happening. Because your gameplay doesn't speak stuck to me. So I'm genuinely curious. All right. Do, 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 do. Is there a specific one that you wanted me to look at, Chaos? Or you just want to pick one at random? Because I do a couple more. But I know you have a few. Just see if you wanted any one specific. Just to see if you wanted any one specific. But yeah, I wouldn't really. I would definitely want to know if you're stuck, because your gameplay doesn't seem like it's like a stuck gameplay. Your gameplay seems very solid and very stable. I think when you can play consistently, kind of like how you're doing, it's very easy for you to slowly improve because you don't really have a lot of crazy outlining factors. You're very consistent, you're very controlled, and those are the best things to have. There's something I was going to check and I totally forgot what it was. Oh, I remember. I remember. Wait, dude, you've been a member for 3 months and you have never had the members tag in my Discord? What in the... What? My guy. What in the Smeckledorf? What in the Hot Pockets? Sorry, my chat wasn't updating. I read it. Stuck between Diamond 3 and Diamond 2. I probably would make it to GM, but not as fast as I'd like. Okay. Yeah, I don't think there's anything particular other than just having really good ult usage. Like, if there's anything that'll carry a strat player is just really good ult usage. Not even just the timing, but where you're even dashing to. Sometimes your dashes look a little sporadic, like you don't really know where you should be covering. And fine-tuning that would definitely make it a lot easier for you to improve as well. What are your thoughts on getting off the game or continuing to play after 2 losses? It depends on what your mental state is, and it depends on why you lost those games. So there's 2 kind of avenues for this. If you lose because you had throwers 2 matches in a row, if your mental is shot off of it, stop playing. If you lose because you just play like crap 2 games in a row, if your mental is shot, stop playing. If you just lose because you lose, well then, play again. Like, I don't trip too much off of it. I know some people think if you lose twice and you quit and you come back, the game rewards you because you didn't go on the streak. But people forget that people who even come back still lose right after they come back. And people also forget if you come back after, it's because your brain got refreshed, right? You feel better. You're not in that mindset anymore. It's a new day or a new time. You ate something, you watched something, you went outside, whatever it may have been. You're coming back different. Just that mentality shift is there. So that's why I said if you have if your mental is shot, then you should definitely take a break. If it's fine, then keep going. Hollywood, hello. So I told you I'm a doo-doo head. Still did send the game replay in the Discord. I bring my family shame. That's funny. I mean, what are you waiting for? The tank one, maybe? Okay, I just read that. Alright, oh, there's a few tank ones. I'll see which one I think is probably a good one. Okay, let's see. If I do play today, what I'll do is I'll turn off the stream and then just make a new stream. So that way it's not a super giga long stream when it's not all about replays. We'll see though, because I really want to play some Rogue. But I want to be a nice little mindset, so I might take a break. I mean, I don't have to play her on stream, but I feel like it's kind of dumb. Like if I'm going to play it, I might as well play it on stream, right? Doesn't that just make sense? All right, so this one says, in this match, I think I played good on defense. Of course, my team was good too, but in the attack, my own strategy was better used against me, and due to Moon Knight farming damage on us and my awkward portal, we lost. Playing against Moon Knight is super frustrating. Not even gonna lie to you. It is. The goal is to always know where he's tossing his onks and intercept his damage. It doesn't really matter what character you are, but if you have a shield or a way to block or anything, you want to intercept his damage or you want to go after him specifically. Where are you? Oh, you're here. So let's wait till you swap. Oh, you did swap. Okay. Go a little bit further back. 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 All right. Where did you put your original nest at? Is it up there? Oh, you just got to the map. All right. I can be reckless now. Relax, Luna. No one likes you. Chill, sister. All right. So you're doing penny stuff, per usual. Penny is so OP. Well, I guess she's really only OP if the enemy team doesn't know what to do. She just like walked on it. I like the little sound. I never had this skin before, but I like the little sound. It's nice. It happens every time it comes out. Wait, what? That is cool, dude. Oh, it's not. What made it happen? Oh, is it because I can only hear it on her on her screen? It does. No, it doesn't. Oh, it does. That's cool. I love that. Okay, anyway. Never stack mines like this clustered. I know you feel like it's useful, but you only need 3 to one-shot somebody. So just use 3, spread them out, use 3, spread them out, use 3, spread them out, use 3. I do this only if I'm looking to try to pop a cloak and dagger coming through. But generally speaking, unless I'm going for massive damage, there's not really a reason to do that. You can just let 3 be there. That way, if they walk on it and then they have like a mag shield or something like that, or a strange shield, they have to then walk forward and land on some more. You know, they're not just exploding all the progress that you had made. My chat is being goofy. Bro, that penny skin is actually underrated. What the? What the? Dude, that skin is sick. I'm kind of mad. Why did she get a skin like this? The music, like, bro, what? It's ridiculous. Please tell me how to cope with playing 2 roles. What's up, Gold? And more of my tendencies seem to burge. I don't think nothing's wrong. I don't think anything's wrong with playing multiple roles. You just have to remember that if your goal is to climb and reach your peak, you're never peaking with all 3 roles at once. Like, never. What I mean by this is there's certain situations that you get put in where only you, because you've been playing the role for such a long time or the character for such a long time, you know how to deal with. But you're never doing that with all the characters. It doesn't matter how good of a player you are. You're never doing that all with all roles. Again, it doesn't matter what type of player you are. So that's why I say it's better to just focus on playing like 1 role or 1 hero from each role if you really want to do that, because everybody feels like, oh, you have to play multiple roles to be successful in this game and you have to have 3 characters, and no, you don't. You just need to know how to play your role and your character to the fullest. There's some situations, like depending on what rank you're in, it'll get to a point where your character is probably not going to work as well as you want it to. It doesn't mean you should always swap, but it just means, like, if you don't have a backup, well, you know, you might be in for some hard games. I noticed you try to connect your webs a little bit too much. You can leave a little space in between them. They're still connected. Okay, you're a little too aggro, my friend. She is not that type of character. You're freaking going ham. You just relax. Play Hulk. Play Cap. Relax. That's not what you do. That's so funny. Alright, now we're going to be pushing into it. Alright, so you see what I mean? You're playing a lot of specialist characters. If your goal is to climb and you really feel like you're struggling, it's because you're playing too many specialist characters. There's characters in this game that only play one way. Thor plays that way. Cap, that's a lie. Cap doesn't play that way. Spider plays that way. Rogue plays that way. Like there's some characters that are very specialist oriented, and if you're swapping between specialist off specialist, you're never going to do anything well with them because you're not a specialist on them. You have to spend hours on these characters to really get anything out of them. I think Thor's OP, but I do know that you need to put time into this character for him to even do anything. But I'm saying that because then you swap to Penny, which is also another specialist character. And there's certain situations that a really good Penny player will be able to perform well in versus someone that doesn't play Penny. You know what I mean? Same thing with Thor. But if your goal is to just, like I said, have fun and just play all the characters and learn more, by all means do that. But if your goal is to straight up climb, you need to limit how many specialist characters you actually play, because you're going to stunt yourself. You're going to make it so that it's incredibly difficult to climb. So it wasn't even about just like, oh, Thor there was a bad choice. It was that you don't play Thor like that. I mean, you could, but just based off that gameplay, it doesn't look like you play Thor like that, which means you don't know how to handle that situation. Right? But characters that can handle a lot of situations without specializing in them are really good characters for to learn. This is why people play Strange and play Mag, because you don't necessarily need to be a god at these characters to make them perform well. Here, we just shouldn't have pushed. They have a rocket ult popping off, and you don't have a support ult to match. This is like the really easy way to not overcommit into a team fight, because remember, whenever you commit, your entire team commits. You'll notice a lot when I play and I tank, I'll open up my tab, I'll open up the little scoreboard, and I'll see, do we have a support ult to match? No, then I'll back off. If we do, then I'll stay in. These are things that you gotta think about, and that's all reading the team fight. That's all reading and understanding. Is this something that we really could pull off or not? That sucks. That is unlucky. That's not even a you thing. That's just unlucky. I mean, could you have blocked it though? If you could have blocked it, then that was on you. If not, then now it's just unlucky. Because that's unfortunate. Oh, you couldn't see. That's unfortunate. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with you. That was unfortunate. I mean, I don't know if I would have put it there. I probably would have put it up here. I don't usually put a portal on point unless it's overtime. So if I were trying to use it for cover, kind of like how you did, I would have definitely put it here or something like that. Or again, I would have put it up here. I only portal on point when I have to. So yeah, the portal itself could have been put in a better situation, but the outcome of the fight, that was unlucky, man. I don't really know what to tell you. You got blinded and you couldn't even see where the thing was coming from, so. American, hello, hello. Okay, so what you're doing right now is just brute forcing. I don't know if you're mental shot, but we could tell off of your gameplay that you just don't care anymore. That sounds bad. I'm not saying like you just throw in the match. I'm not saying that. But you're skipping a lot of the steps that matter. And what I mean by this is you're skipping a lot of methodical movements. So instead of like trying to make sure your team is okay and then moving forward, you know, make sure your team is okay, moving forward, figuring out maybe I go over here, or maybe I hold up my shield and walk up here slowly. And then, you know, instead of doing all of that, you're just like walking down main. You know, and that signals to me that maybe you're trying to force this, and you're trying to brute force it. You're just trying to run at them, and that doesn't work, especially into something like this. You got to figure out a different way to approach. I mean, you have a lot of playing. You can go left, you can go middle, you can wrap around and go back here, which I don't see a lot of people do too often, even in high ranks. But you can wrap around and go up here. You know, you can just hold your shield out. Or walk up, hold your shield out, sit right here for a second, let your shield regenerate. Walk up here, hold your shield out, sit right here, let your shield regenerate. Walk up, hold your shield out, go over here, let your shield regenerate. You know, you have options. I think what happens to a lot of Strange players, what they'll see is they'll see Strange players like shield, throw, shield, throw, shield, throw, Like, this is all you see. So when it's time for Strange to actually hold his shield and move, people don't actually see that. They don't think it's possible. Or our brain is just, we don't really think about it. But that is broken. His shield is 800 damage, or 800 HP. That's a lot of freaking HP. So if you can move from point A to point B with 800 shields, basically, and then drop it, let it recharge, and then do it again, drop it, let it, you don't really have to just shield fight. You're trying to make space with the shield. That's what he's designed to do. So in situations like this, where you're getting heavily poked, you're not trying to force and trade because you don't have a poke comp like that. You're just trying to make your way to point as fast as possible. You see how much damage you're eating? Just shield walk up here and use this as your cover, as your shield. And then you shield throw, shield throw, shield throw. And then when you want to move forward, you hold that shield the entire time and move forward. Get used to that when playing Strange. Moving from point A to point B while holding your shield. I know it feels good to shield throw, but it's not optimal when you're actually trying to force. It's only optimal when you're trading. The goal is to block damage while throwing damage, right? If their shot is having like a split second in between the shot, you throwing and shielding protects you from their shot, but it allows you to shoot. But if it's consistent damage, you're not really like blocking much, right? You gotta take a lot more damage. That's what I'm talking about. Hold your shield out. Let them destroy the Ankh. Block the guy from throwing the Moon Knight abilities. I know you're looking to force this ult, but don't. I'm telling you. Okay. That's why I didn't want you to force it, because it had a lot of support ults ready. And it wasn't going to do much for you. I think you're playing it really, really quickly. Go into brute force it. Go in to try to make ultimate plays when you know that there's going to counter it. Strange is one of the more telling characters, and you can't... Everything that he does is extremely telegraphed. Him moving forward is telegraphed. Him going for an ult is telegraphed. Him doing anything is telegraphed. So you need to make sure that when you're doing it, it's very slow and it's very paced. It's controlled. If you try to do it too fast, you're going to get exploded. If you try to do it too slow, you're not going to accomplish anything. It is a balancing act with that character. He's not hard, just your decision making has to make sense. I think that portal was such an accident. I don't think your portal was bad. I wouldn't portal on point unless it was overtime, but I will say the Iron Man ult popping you, that was unavoidable. Like, that sucks. You were blinded, like there was nothing you can do. That was unlucky. But the things you could have changed is how you approach the point. You're not brute forcing. You don't brute force these things. You need to take it slow. You need to find a pick, and then you need to start moving forward after that. When it comes to approaching with your ultimates, you need to make sure that if I ult, what's going to happen? Think a few steps ahead. Well, we haven't team fought in about a minute, so their ultimates are most likely up. Can I KO someone through my ult, through their ult? Probably not. Can I ult the person before they ult? Probably not, because this ult is very slow. So you don't have an option. You need to wait until they expend their ults to use it. If you really have a hard time tracking ults, just press the scoreboard, because it'll tell you. So look, if you look at the scoreboard, even before this fight, sorry. If you look at the scoreboard, what do you see? Now you can't see the enemy's ults, right? But we can see ours. 9 times out of 10, if your support has ultimates, theirs does too. This is a very easy way to track their support ultimates. If you're a character like Star-Lord, if you're a character like Doctor Strange, if you're a character like Bucky, if you're a character that needs to not have healing ruining your ult, you need to make sure that you time it to use your ult afterward. What this does, it's either going to the strategist players on the enemy team are just going to continue to be dumb and ult because your team ults, or B, they're going to have to be smart and ult when you ult. This does one of two things for your entire team. If they are dumb, you wipe their team every single time because they're not adjusting to your ult. If they ult your ult, this means they're never going to ult unless you ult, which means you hold power over if they ult or not. If you want them to ult early, you can ult early. If you don't want them to ult at all, you keep your ultimate. This type of stuff right here is, again, mental warfare. A lot of players do not understand the game at that game knowledge level, that fundamental level, because we're so engrossed on what's happening on the screen, how fast things are, how many abilities are being used. But underneath the surface, there's cooldown management. There's target priority, there's positioning, there's all this other boring stuff that nobody wants to talk about. But if you learn how to do that, you'll see how much more effective your gameplay is. And the sad part about it is when you see clips, when you see really good streamers, if you think that I'm good and you watch my gameplay, if you see any of these people that maybe you admire or people that you think are really insane, even pro play, you don't see any of that. Cooldown management, you can't see, right? You can't see target priority. You can't see positioning. You have to actually actively look for it. This is why you don't really learn as much unless you look for it. So for your gameplay in particular, you're just a little bit quick. And again, I could definitely tell that you probably were over this one. But this one was very easy for you to win when you swapped to Strange. You just needed to think. You just needed to play slow and use your shield as a way to push. It is a pushing tool. It is not there for just. It's not there to protect your team. Don't get me wrong. You can use it too if you want, but it's not there to be like, here you guys, stand behind me. That's not what I'm saying. It's for you to move forward without taking damage. Use it that way. Don't flip it on and throw and flip it on and throw, trying to move forward. It doesn't work. You only do that when you're not getting shot. But if you're getting pelted, you're going to have to make a different approach. And that's why I said moving maybe over here is really good, because it makes them have to look at you while your team can go in and push. You can even attack the nest from here. Just a little bit more of a methodical approach, and you would have won this one, or at least taken point for the most part. But again, this is why you should not be playing Specialist Heroes, because Specialist Heroes don't play this way. I don't know how many characters you actually play, but I definitely think you should find about 1 or 2 for each role and do that and make sure they're not Specialist Heroes. Specialist Heroes will ruin your day if you don't play them consistently. I don't know about that fireplace, Chris. Shut up, Puka. Dreadhead, hello. Man, it's been ages. Good to see you. You're enjoying Marvel Rivals? That's good. Yeah, I was just tilted at the end. And generally use my ult really, as I'm bad at it. Generally, I like to brawl with them usually. I don't think you don't need to rarely use your ult. You just need to use it more for pick situations, even if it's not a surprise. If a Thor just goes behind you, just ult the guy and shield him away, so then your team just one-shots him, right? It could be super basic. You don't have to always look to be a star with Doctor Strange or any other character. You can do the most basic stuff and still have your team get the edge. The goal is just KO one person on the team. Like any team fight, who can I pick quick? You do that, you'll win most of the time. Okay, I finally sent it because you're right. What was I waiting for? I think I was just slightly intimidated, so I was stalling. Intimidated about what? Am I an intimidating person, chat? If I'm not in your game, at least. Disrespectful. Can you suggest me another tank? Highly. Could you suggest me another tank along with Thor, Strange, and Mag, and Emma? Because I want to specialize in tanks along, if possible, Iron Man 2. Okay, yeah, those are all specialist characters. I'll make a video. I said this before. I haven't made a video yet, so Lauren, I still kept my promise, but I do need to make that video. But so when we're talking about specialist heroes, we're talking about heroes that don't play the same game that everybody else plays, right? The 3 types of playstyles you generally have are going to be poke, dive, brawl. There's a lot more, and this is when we hop into specialists. But generally speaking, you have those 3 types of gameplay: rogue, poke, brawl, or dive. She can do everything, so it's a specialist character. There's no clear avenue for this one, which means that if you play this character and you don't know what you're doing, you're probably gonna lose, right? Cat, poke, dive, brawl. He's a diver. Doesn't matter how buns you are as Cap, he's one job, right? Mag, poke, dive, brawl, poke. Thing, poke, dive, brawl, brawl. Poke, dive, brawl, dive. Groot, specialist. You're not playing this character if you don't know what you're doing. Thor, brawl, but again, specialist. He has moves that you need to know how to do, and you need to know when to play poke as well. Like again, specialist. Emma, specialist. She's you could call her brawl, but honestly, I think that she's still a specialist character. But ooh, that's hard. Okay, I don't think she's a specialist character, but I think that she takes some time because she's weird. So once you got her, you got her. With Thor, once you got him, you still don't got him. You know what I mean? With Rogue, once you got her, you still don't got her. With Groot, once you got him, you still don't got him. There is no got them. There is always improvement. But for some of these heroes, it's like once you got him, you know how to play it basically. Strange, brawl. Once you got him, you got him. Pretty poke heavy too if you really want to try to snipe things, but it's more brawl. Venom, dive. Once you know how to dive, you're done. Penny, specialist. Angela, Giga specialist. So when it comes down to that, you really got to factor in what are you willing to put a lot of time into. I don't know if it's buffering for all of you guys, but I think it buffered a little bit. I've been having some really bad connection problems today. If I play some on stream, I'm going to restart my router. I don't usually have connection issues, so it must be something going on with the weather or something like that. Iron Man's pretty poke. Not really not a specialist character at all, so you can play him. So to your answer of playing like Thor, Strange, Mag, Emma, playing all these characters is not beneficial. But it really just comes down to your goal, Chaos. Like, what's your goal? Is your goal to climb, or is your goal to get better? And like spread yourself with what you know about the game. Yeah, you guys might be having hiccups. I'm sorry for the hiccups. But yeah. It'd be pretty much you're asking yourself, what's your goal? You know, is your goal to get better at the game? Is your goal to climb as fast as possible? Is your goal to just enjoy the game? You know, nothing wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with just enjoying a little bit of the game and all that extra good stuff. You got no buffering? Really? On my OBS, it's dropping. It's dropping some frames. Maybe it just depends on where you live. But yeah, Chaos. Answer that question, and then you know you have your answer. If your goal is to climb, strictly to climb, you should not be playing all these characters. If your goal is to strictly climb, play Thor. If you love him, get into specialist mode with him, and then play Strange as your. If I can't play Thor, I'll play him. If you're going to play Iron Man, perfectly fine. Not a specialist character anyway. If your goal is to just have fun and learn more along the way, then play whatever you want to play. There's nothing really wrong with that at all. You just won't be reaching your goals as fast as possible. Basically caught up with you, GM3 now. I think I'll send you some gameplay to review later. Oh yeah, I need to start moving. I need to start moving. See, I can't let you viewers, I can't let you peasants be close to my ring. I'm kidding. I mean, I'm not. That would just sound bad. I'm kidding about peasants, but I'm not kidding about close to my rank. I mean, not as a way to say that I'm better or anything. But if you guys get close to my rank, then that's how I know I have not been playing enough. It's like, okay, Papa, you clearly have not been playing the game, bro. Like, what are you doing, dog? What are you doing, dog? That's just how I feel. That means I've been AFK idle for too long. Loritz, hello. I was watching your stream and I saw you kept banning magic when you used Cap. What's your reason for that? I ban magic when I use anybody. Magic is broken. So I feel like it doesn't really matter what I say about magic or how I say it. Magic players don't hear what I have to say at all. So I'm not saying that's you, but I'm just saying in general. I'm gonna say it plain as day so that anyone watching that likes Magic and sees me complain about Magic, this is why. Okay? Plain as day. Plain as day. I think she's overloaded, right? I think she's giga overloaded without a doubt. But the two main reasons why I ban this character is because even if she is bad, she can stay in a fight for ages. And she has overshield. Which means that my teammates have to either CC this character in order to get her taken out, or my teammates have to have godlike aim. Both scenarios, I don't trust my team. So, that's why, if you factor in the overshield with the invulnerability, right, and just all the extra crap, it's stupid. It's actually just ridiculous. The other reason why I don't like the character in my matches is because, not only is her hitbox extremely, extremely fat, but her one-shot potential to someone who just isn't paying attention is, you can't react to it. Like, you just realistically can't react to a combo done by Magic, like a really good combo. So, if you do your little tilty whirl, I haven't done it in ages. It's funny because I was actually playing her. I was playing her because I got mad at people who were playing her on my alt account, and I was like, bro, I'm tired of all you Magic abusers. So I'd play her just because I was angry. But her actual one-shot potential, if done correctly, you just can't counter it. You know what I mean? So it's not really for me. It's for my teammates, if that's better. I don't ban her for me. I ban her because my teammates just do not know what to do. I won't ban her in Eternity or One Above All because those players understand how to do with Magic. But I dislike how she gets away with a lot because everybody on the enemy team isn't good enough to deal with her. So I ban that character. That's why I ban Magic. I think Magic players, not saying you, but I think most Magic players for some reason don't comprehend this, and they feel like, well, Magic's 30,000 times harder than any character in this game, bro. So I don't know what you're talking about. Whether it's hard or not, the character can sustain in a fight for 3 years as a DPS, and on top of that, she can one-shot somebody, and it's unreactable. There's not really anything that doesn't matter. Spider-Man is one of the hardest characters in the game at a really high level. But this character still can do a lot of the stupid stuff that should not be able to be done. Right? Is he broken? Without a doubt. Is he hard to use? Yes. It doesn't change my mind about it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of characters in this game I feel are broken. But I just ban Magic because nobody knows how to deal with her. They just get mad and start raging and complaining, and she loves that, so I ban her out. That's why I ban Magic. So it's not off of rage. There's actually logic to why I ban Magic. I just feel like some people think that I hate Magic in Iron Fist, and it's rage. It's logical. It's logical. I'm a very logical person. If I hate your character, there's logic behind it. It's not just because I can't deal with the character. I just hate the freaking character. Iron Fist is way more manageable than Magic, though, in my opinion. Magic is just too much. Even if she sucks, bro. Even if Magic is buns, that character is still a handful to deal with. Let's be real. Let's be honest. But I hope that answers your question. Okay. We'll do one more. We'll do Hollywood's just because they posted theirs. All right, time to roast you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I feel like it's okay if your character is super overloaded or super annoying to play. I don't think that that's a fault. You know what I mean? It's just how the game's designed. If the game is designed that way, if that's the character you like, you didn't have any input on how they handle, right? You just play the character, you know, be nice. I'm never gonna play Cap and just think like, oh, you know, people say Cap is super brain dead. Cap is super annoying, and you know, only it just you're a good player. It's perfectly fine. I'm not saying all Magic players are automatically good. I'm just saying all Magic players are still automatically a freaking handful to deal with. Every game has that though, you know? Like there's characters like that in like Street Fighter, Tekken, things like that, where people main these busted characters because they're good at that moment. But it doesn't discredit the player playing the character. I think Magic players and Iron Fist players get really mad at me because they think like I'm discrediting them putting time into a character when I'm not. Then goes and runs her solo in Zombies. Wait, Zombies is actually fun though. I don't dislike Magic as a character. I dislike having to have my teammates not understand how to play. So it's not necessarily a Magic problem. I think it's just the game doesn't teach you. And a lot of these people are used to playing with someone that watches their back 24/7. So if they play solo queue or something like that without their friends, they're going to get run over by Magic. However, you play the thing that character shut down, but I just hate having to play that character to play against that character. It's just not fun. My pick up Mr. Fantastic after seeing your tier list. I think that he's good, especially after the buffs. I have to make a new tier list though, coming soon. I've heard enough. Magic is too powerful. Nerf Torch. I don't know why they don't nerf Magic. I think they have a specific reason. Or they're trying to figure out how to nerf her properly. Because I think they have a design in mind for that character, but they just don't know. I said this before, I think they're very cautious about nerfing characters because they don't want the character to not feel good anymore. It's inevitable. People aren't going to like it when you nerf the character anyway. But I think in a case of Magic, because she's so different in the hands of someone who's a scrub versus in the hands of someone who's actually really good at Magic, the scale of how OP that character is goes with how experienced you are in that character. And I think when you're trying to nerf for something like that, it's way more difficult than nerfing a number. You know what I mean? So I don't know what they're going to do, but I think she's going to get hit eventually. They just got to figure out how to do it and not make it so that she's unplayable. So, I do think Hulk is busted, but I don't think it's his damage numbers. I just think Hulk is annoying. I think he's actually just so annoying. You can put the code inside the Discord, and I'll get to it next week. How do you feel about Magic? Is how I feel about Bucky. Yeah, everybody has their personal vices. I think Bucky was really strong. I think Bucky was really strong too. At one point, he was just ridiculous. Like he was ridiculous. But they calmed him down. He's still strong, but he's not nowhere near as what he used to be. And I think that's what's going to happen with Magic. She's going to be strong because her kid is strong, but they're going to need to nerf it so it's just not too crazy. Giving her the cooldown to her teleport was unneeded. The fact that she's just always teleporting around now is crazy. I think I would give her less damage and give her more ability to play the game, or give her more damage and less ability to play the game. I don't know how they would do that, but that's what I would go from. Gaming. But I do know that they're introducing a lot of these characters that can deal with Magic pretty easily, and they're also introducing a lot of these changes that can make dealing with Magic, Iron Fist, well, any diver, not just her. This is just my personal advice. But they're creating all these characters and changes and all that to deal with her and all the other divers. So I also think they don't really want to change anything with divers right now because they're implementing so much to counter them at this point that it would be a double nerf to them should they do that. You know what I mean? So it's also that. But if the team understands how to play into Magic, Magic is not a problem. I love when people know how to play into it because I don't have to trip. But most tanks just can't fight that character. With introduction of Gambit, though, it's way easier to deal with Magic. Like, bro, when I see people get KO'd as Gambit against Magic, Black Panther, or Spidey or stuff like that, I'm just like, in what world? Bro, in what world does that happen? You must not be a Gambit player. They're good. I want you to nitpick me. I need to know my mistake that could help me out of high GM, low celestial. Okay. We'll see. So far, everything's been pretty textbook. Oka's annoying, and that's why I love him. Being a nuisance brings me joy. That's how I feel about Spider-Man. That's how I feel about Spider. Okay, I wouldn't have ulted that. We wouldn't have ulted this because your team lost this fight already. It took you way too long. Way too long. Because he ulted way earlier than you, if you win this fight, I'll be shocked. But it doesn't discredit what I'm about to say. Because he ulted way earlier than you, it's already, the team fight's already in motion. You're basically trying to save a team fight that's already almost over. Just reset and win with the next, then win the next team fight. Your spawn is right there. Let everybody get KO'd and win the next team fight. Let's see what happens though. Let's see what happens. Oh my god, Emma did the same thing you did. Okay, so pretty much exactly what I said was going to happen happened. This is why I tell you guys to think ahead. This is why I need to get out of GM, because these players get on my nerves. Not you, I just mean GM players in general. Like, I hate them all. But anyway, enough of my advice. Not only did you waste your ult, but you signaled Emma like it's actually fight time. So you basically baited your teammate here. And she's like, well, he ulted. I'm gonna ult too. Kneel. But she doesn't understand the fight's over already. So you cost 2 ultimates here. This is what tends to happen a lot. The higher you go, the more people are willing to play with you. So you start to see chain ultimates a lot more in higher ranks. Not with healing, but just in general. A lot of people in higher ranks start to use Gambit ult with their ult, or vice versa. Use Mantis ult with their ult. You know, a lot of people are combining ultimates at this point. Groot with Bucky, or Strange with Bucky, or like, you know. So when you launch something like this, whatever you do, you're signaling to all the other 5 players that you want to do something. And if you're not correct about it, you're gonna throw everybody out. In this particular moment, that's exactly what happened. I already knew it was gonna work like this before I even seen the fight finish. It just wasn't a good time. You waited too long, and it was more of a reaction than it was proactive. If you ever want to get good at strat, you need to be a lot more proactive with your ult than reactive. You really need to be thinking about, should you ult or not? And the cool part about ults, most of them, most support ults, is they don't actually fire off unless you tell them to fire off. Most of them. Like Rocket, Invisible Woman, Gambit, you have a split second to straight up think, do I need it? Use that. If you're playing a character like Cloak and Dagger that doesn't have the ability to have to think about this a little bit more on the fly, but for someone that has an ult that literally has you hold up for a second, think real quick, do I need it? You'll be able to answer that question. The better you get at that, the easier it is for you to know when you should or shouldn't fire it. Fair, they're already cooked. I see it. Magic used to be more brawl oriented, and they changed her to make her more dive oriented. I think that was a bad move. They should lean more into her brawl. Yeah, I think they shouldn't try to do both. Bro, allow her to one shot and get one shot herself, or allow her to stay in the fight for 3 years and not one shot everybody because they don't pay attention. I don't mind either or, but we allowed this character to do both, which makes no sense. Again, though, I just think they're slowly trying to figure it out. It's funny because I complain a lot. I feel like anybody from NetEase that watches my content, they're like, bro, this guy's always talking about Magic and Iron Fist, bro. How do we even satisfy this guy? Every time we nerf anything or change anything, he's like, well, they're still broken. I'm like, what do we do? Is this guy crazy? Yes, NetEase, I am very crazy. There you go. This is gold? Oh, okay. My ult is the gold type signal. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes even your positioning is the goal time. Sometimes you diving in is go time. Like, it's a lot more than just ability usage. It could be just how you play the game in general. So you got to be cautious. Even right here, you don't need to be here to do your job. Go wide. All right, go wide. And heal from here. You're like, Poppin', well, Gambit doesn't do a lot of healing from long range. You're right, he doesn't. As they start moving more up the, as they start moving more up the hill, then you get a little bit closer, and they're up there near like that back end, like they're more right here. When you're safe right here, you're cutting off the line of sight to your character. What you're doing right now is saying, if anybody wants to throw an AoE blast our way, go ahead. We'll all get destroyed. And you don't want that. See? Look at you. How are you in front of 2 tanks, brother? See? This doesn't happen. This should never happen. Never. I know you're playing Gambit, so you want to be a little bit more in there. I understand, but time and place for everything, man. If that's my advice to anybody that likes to play pretty fast, time and place for everything. You need to know when to flip the switch on and when to flip the switch off. You don't necessarily need to always be quicker, because his ult isn't really that hard winning of an ultimate. You know what I mean? But you need to understand if they're actually committing or not. Even here, same thing. You hear it. Look where your team is right now. Remember the 4 phases: setup, pre-fight, full fight, cleanup. Your team is in the setup phase, right? Setup / pre-fight phase. We're kind of just poking. This dude ults right now. Bro, what fight was he ulting for? See? Nothing's even happening. So if you don't ult, you should be okay. What I would do is I would wait, back up, heal, wait, and see if anybody actually needs me to press ult or not. You responded because he ulted, but you didn't have to. You then ult. We end up winning the fight. But imagine we win this fight without your ult, and then we ult the second time, like the next fight. Then you're chilling. Let's look at this guy's screen and see what he saw when he ulted. This is the real trick. Do you think this guy ulted to make a play because his team was making a play, or do you think this guy just threw his ult for some random non-related reason? Based off positioning, you should already know. I knew this was a weird ult. This is why I said you shouldn't have ulted yourself. It was weird. It was like, well, bro, y'all not even positioned to take advantage of this ult. That was weird. So you don't counter that. I don't even think he landed it on anybody. Luckily, though, you countered it. Like, you guys made a counter play, but I don't think you should have wasted your ult for it. I think you guys would have won that fight without it. Gambit never folds. Is it because you'll ruin the cards? I'm just saying. You'll be caught cheating. That was my prime example right there. You see? That's what happens when you're in the front line. That's what happens when you're too close. That's what happens when you're clumped up. You get smacked with AoE. They're not even aiming at you. You just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's why you don't do that. So my advice for you is to try to find better spots to help your team. Really think about the trajectory of what you're using. It doesn't matter what healer you are, whether you are Invisible Woman, Cloak and Dagger, whatever. Think about how each and every one of your abilities are cast. Think about how they travel. Think about how they move around. Also think about how your primary fire works. Then you can position yourself in different spots based on it. If I were playing Cloak and Dagger, I can do my job from here. I can throw my bubble from here. But if you're playing, let's just say Gambit, right? Well, you are playing Gambit. You can't really do that from here because you need that line of sight on your characters to heal them, right? They're also spread out. The further you are, the more it spreads. So then you're probably missing heals on people. So you need a better spot, better location. You know, could be possibly right here. Now this can be broken, but the thing is, it still takes shots before it gets broken, right? And then you reposition if you have to. Boom. And then as they walk past the goat head, you heal them through there. Just be a little bit more position oriented. I feel like Gambit teaches you the wrong stuff sometimes. As I said, I didn't make a video on what characters teach you the right things. I haven't made a video yet, Lauren, so again, I kept my promise. Don't be afraid to dash heal, by the way. I notice you use your slam a lot, but like dash twist will still heal them. So don't be afraid to do that. That allows you to reposition and heal at the same time versus like you trying to dash dash after. Did I? Oh, you're right. I'm cooked. You're right. Dang, when Lauren knows what content I put out more than I do, that's a problem. Jesus, how did I forget? Okay, I did. You're right, you got me. You got me. So because we ulted early, we ended up losing that fight. I don't typically ult unless I really have to. So if it's a counter or if I know that my teammate that's looking for a KO needs an ult, like Bucky, I'll probably ult with him. But more often than not, I try not to use it. You also have to think about the changes that recently happened where the ult charge takes a little bit more longer. The ult charge takes more time. Yeah, I like it, I like it, I like it. You're gaming, you're gaming. I don't know how often you do it, but just keep in mind that when you have your healing card out, it heals you. When you have your damage card out, it gives you bonus damage. So get into the habit of only throwing the card when it's about to expire versus like snapping it up and tossing it instantly. I notice you only hold on to the card when you don't have any more charges left, so you're forced to, versus like you're intentionally holding on to the card. Not only does this allow you to get the benefit out of both the types of cards that you're pulling, but you're also making it so you're allowing the duration of your other cards to refill to take its place. So you have more uptime. Just something to keep in mind.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, I always say the main job of you did it there, you held it there. I always said the main job of the healer is to make sure your team is healthy. Again, I wasn't bringing it up like the time you did it was because you didn't have a card, so you run out a lot more than you should. What? Job as a healer is to make sure that your team is healthy first, and then you can look for fights afterward. Good positioning here. I mean, the fight's over, so I would just, yeah. I was gonna say I would just bail. That's why I said it was good positioning. I don't even think you wanted to keep fighting that fight. I think you just sat around and see if you can help them. Most of the time when you know a fight's lost, just let your team get KO'd. Don't heal them because you're just stalling them coming back. That sounds very selfish, but I'm telling you, it works wonders if you know the fight is over. Wouldn't have ulted this because, again, we're not really in a position to fight. I don't think your team can capitalize on this ult. We'll play it to see. I mean, obviously we'll play it, but I'm just speaking before it happens, just because I want to give your brain something to kind of chew on. This ult doesn't really do anything other than try to save your team, but saving your team isn't going to do anything if you guys can't win the fight anyway. But let's see. Yeah. So it's not because you suck. It's not because your team sucks. It's not because they're extremely good. It's not because their characters are broken. You just try to take a fight that wasn't in your favor, and it puts your team at a disadvantage. Or your team was already at a disadvantage. So you just got to be careful doing stuff like that. It's alright to let the fight breathe. You should be able to gauge how much damage everybody is going to take before they get KO'd. Like, don't expect to always have them topped off at 100% HP, because that's just impossible. Sometimes your tank is going to be at 80% HP, but I know that he will survive if I don't heal him at this particular moment. Hey, so I can put my attention elsewhere until I see that he maybe needs a little bit more. Not saying to always never heal, but I'm just saying sometimes you don't need to react as quickly because they're not really in danger even if it appears like they are. So in that situation, it's not your job to fight her. It's your job to reposition. When you know that she's behind you, reposition to a spot where she can't one-bang you. So like right here. Nah, she'll still one-shot you. I mean, maybe like right here. So that way you'll hear her, and should she come after you, you just dash. This way you pay attention to what's happening in front of you and you're not caught blindsided. If you turn here, which is what you did, you don't know what's happening over here. This is similar to the last replay that we saw of the person flipping themselves around. I know you want to see her, but you're not a fighter. You only take advantage of situations. You don't just create them yourself. So I would never go for this because you don't know what's happening with your team. Now he ults, you don't know what the scenario looks like for the rest of your team, and you're gonna have to play it by ear, and you're gonna have to play off your back foot, which is way harder, right? Which means you have to rely on your team to be good enough to deal with it themselves. Luckily, your team didn't seem to get run over, but you know, that's not something that always happens. So just be a little bit more cautious about that. Let the diver sit, let the diver chill. Deal with them when they come into you. Otherwise, let them be. Because they just want to be annoying. Another ultimate to save them instead of win the team fight. Your team was probably already going to win that fight without it, maybe? Let me see. Yeah, you see how you're trying to, like, he was cooked. You got to think about cast time. So it takes a second for him to whip it out, and then it takes a second for him to toss it out, right? Pause. But for all that moment, you could have been healing this dude. So why didn't you heal the dude? You're not the only person that does. I've seen plenty of replays where the support tries to ult, and it's like you could just heal them without pausing your healing resource there. So again, stop ulting because you're afraid. Keep the person healthy and ult when you need to. His ult is not even a team saver. I don't think it actually gives you HP. Right? It just heals you, but it doesn't like burst heal you, correct? I haven't touched him in a hot minute, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't burst heal you. I'm pretty sure it's, if you're low, you're gonna get one shot out of his ultimate. I'm like giga sure. I'll test it though, if you guys don't know for sure. But I'm giga sure that it does not bring you from 0 to 100. 0 to 100 in a span of a second. So there's no reason to even try to use it like that. That's slow over time? Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, I knew it healed you, but I was questioning if it brought you up really quickly, because I didn't think it did. But again, I haven't touched him in a hot minute, so I didn't want to be wrong. Rogue has been taking over for me. His wife. Doing good here though. I like the positioning. I like that you're not trying to turn the corner to do more damage. You're taking care of what's in front of you, and then you're moving forward afterward. Like, that's the type of thing. That's the type of thing that you have to really. I don't like that. You're doing it again. Like, you're wasting a lot of ults. Okay. So Gambit's ult is not a straight up strat ult, right? So I can see why a lot of Gambit players tend to fire that bad boy off a lot more. It's hard, man, because ults like these are like ones people tend to toss out a lot more than the other ultimates. So like Ultron ults, Gambit ults, I think Mantis ults are kind of like that too, where people just like toss it out. But nah, I don't think Mantis players do it anymore. I think they used to. Jeff ult would be another one where they just like toss them out. But you got to keep in mind, like, Strat is so broken that you can throw a game by ulting incorrectly. Because that's how the game was initially designed. I want to see. I am pretty sure it doesn't bring you up by a substantial amount if you're low. But I'm going to check. Maybe it's just because they're squishy. Bro, when he ults, I swear I never get a burst of heal when I'm tanking. But to be fair, tanks have a much higher health pool, so I can't really say it's different for very squishy targets. Oh, never mind. That's nothing. It looked like way more originally, but that's nothing. Oh, is the heal spread out based on how many people you ult? Is that really what it is? Let me see. So this would be 3, and I'm going to try it on 1. So that's buns compared to like Cloak and Dagger. All right, let me just try it by 1. Maybe you get more if it's just by itself.
Just who Gambit was looking for.
No, it's just not that great. Okay, it's not that great. You'll get 1 shot. So yeah, don't try to use it to really save people unless you have to, because it's not really designed like that. You don't even get full HP, and then they can still get 1 shot because they're a low HP target. And then a tank's not going to get much value out of it being low anyway. So it's just better that you heal them. But yeah. I understand wanting to use the ult a little bit more often. But you really do got to factor in, do they have their ults? You know, what's the state of the flow of the fight and stuff like that. If you think that you can win a fight before everyone else starts doing their stuff, firing your ult off first is fine. Because typically, people have ults every fight. So if you need to just say, well, Magic just went in, and I see her ready, I'm going to just fire it off, maybe we can get a pick. Do that, because it is possible you'll get the pick, even if they try to start ulting, right? But if you're just like, I'm going to fire it off because we're together and I think we can run the team down, don't do that. If you're like, I'm going to fire it off because I need to heal my team instantly, or just one member, you haven't even used it for your entire team. It's usually one person low. Just heal them. You get way more value out of that. I mean, look, it's basically the same. But look. Two shots, bro. It's the same as your ultimate. 1 shot is almost the same as your ult, actually. Oh, it's 2. Two shots. Yet we ulted for the mag. The same exact thing. You know what I mean? So get your ult timings down a little bit better. Mind your positioning a little bit more. And I think you're fine. I think for the most part, though, your Gambit gameplay is pretty consistent. It's not like you're all over the place with it. You know what you're trying to do. It's just you got to fine tune it up a little bit. And think more about your positioning. Not where you are particularly, but also where you're going to go. You do that, you'll be chilling. That's pretty much it for that replay. Just who Gambit was looking for. Why Gambit so toxic, bro? Be like your wife. Be nice and happy. I am tired of this. 11 hours. Okay, no more of these freaking coins popping up in my Marvel's feed, bro. I wonder if they're going to give us anything for having an excessive amount. Has anyone seen anything on that?
Hey.
Like, are we going to get any what is it? Any compensation of any type for having an excess amount of lives?
Hey. I see some familiar.
You guys want to see my rewind? My windery. Okay, here we go. Your first time was 12/05/2024. I think that's when the game released. I've been playing for 373 days. I fought in epic clashes for a total of 1,100 hours. And that's longer than 99.9% of all heroes. Means I'm a gamer. I played for 6 seasons. I've done 93%. I outperformed 93% of players as Vanguard and Grandmaster. 1,000 matches. Season 0 favorite hero, 95 hours. Sentinel Strikes, 2,800. 2,100 Vibranium Saw KOs. That was season 0. Season 1, 100, or not 100, 1,777 matches. 50%. Vanguard. Most played hero was Cat, 72 hours. 95%. Pretty much similar, almost the same, 1,000. Cap, 134 hours. 1,000 matches. Cat, 44 hours. Guys, my gamer. I didn't play this season. I could have though. Yeah, I didn't play that much at all this season. Cat. This season. Gambit. That's that. It says highest rank is Eternity, but bro, I got gypped. Bro. Bro, my highest I think was Eternity, like 270 something. Bro, they didn't give it to me. So it says Eternity, but I never really submitted a ticket because I don't really care. But I didn't get credit for it. I think it was because it got cut off right at the end of my match or something. I don't really remember the specifics of it. Highest costume used? Galactic Talent. Luca, Rome, Catterjet. I think that's it. Is that it? That's it. I'm a gamer. That's all you need to know. What's up, Murray? How you doing? Hello, hello. Good to see you. If you can you do another review? Not this week. Wait, I got a lot of reviews for you, Chaos. Wait a second. I understand if I never did yours, but I've done so many reviews for you. The disrespect. The disrespect. Brad's a true American. Right, Cap, every season. As much as I say the character is freaking garbage, and I hate not being able to get KOs. They haven't said anything from stuff from Extra Lives. That sucks. I'm sure they'll do something, because some people spent money on it. You mind if I use your review of my gameplay for content on my page? Just your reaction video? That's fine. I don't mind at all. Do what you do. My content is here for all of y'all to enjoy. 4 in total. 4 in total? That's a lot. I don't think I've reviewed anyone's content in this chat 4 times. I think you're the most reviewed person on this channel. That's a Discord title right there for you. Most reviewed player on my channel.
Can't wait to summon.
Okay. So as I said, I didn't want to be too drained because I really want to play some Rogue. So what I'm going to do, I don't think you got to your, I didn't get to yours because you weren't here. But in the future, do you want me to just do it even if you're not here? Or do you actually want to be here when I do it? Because when I pick them, if someone usually like talks in chat, I generally try not to do it unless they're there. Otherwise, unless they say specifically they don't care, just in case you have questions and stuff like that. Okay, then I'll pop it next week. I kind of tossed out an idea to have members have their review in video form, and then have non-members have their view, or if they want other reviews on Saturday. But I feel like that'd be a lot of work. On top of like the stuff that I want to do. So I don't know if it'd be beneficial. Especially because I already give members priority anyway during the actual review day. So I don't know if that'd be something that I would do. But I had that idea. Go back so that I can have half and half. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. DK. I try to like control myself because I tend to give members way more than you guys even ask about, and I go overboard. And then most members are like, "Bro, you already do a lot for members. Like, what are you doing?" So I try not to go overboard, but it's just I appreciate you guys being members. So I try to quell what I give.
Anyone else want to snack on some galactic?
How is it from season 4? You can't watch things from season 4. That was from season 5. That was from last season.
Nothing better than a party, except maybe an epic battle.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are going to take a break. I'm gonna take like a 30-minute break, maybe an hour, who knows, maybe less. I just want to decompress a little bit. And then I will come back because I want to play Rogue. I want to play Rogue really bad. So we're going to come back and we're going to play Rogue. I just don't want to stream now because it'll be a very, very long stream. So it's kind of like for no reason. So I'm going to cut it off and then I'll come back and we'll be playing Rogue. Okay? So if you guys want to watch me play on my main, you guys want to see me play Rogue, you guys got any questions or comments or anything like that, we'll be doing it. And then I'll be playing Rogue, Spider, and Wolverine. Those are the 3 heroes that I play. I'll be playing that in like an hour, 30 minutes to an hour. You'll see me pop up. But thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. Thank you for joining the Heroes Huddle. We'll have another Heroes Huddle again next Saturday, unless something comes up. I'll let you guys know. But until next time, you know what I always say. Thank you guys for doing what? Popping on. We're locked in. Peace, peace. Late. See you in the next stream if you want to come hang out.